today when we watched the men's preliminary round of that combination of things needed in the jump event, and speed obviously being one, making sure you get all of your lift, you get up into the air, so speed plus height, and then getting up over those tips and milking all of that distance, really creating that airplane wing shape, keeping yourself up in the air as long as you can. So I like to say speed plus height plus flight is going to equal distance.
I like that. I may start using that one.
And we were just one skier into this women's jump final. We did just get done with the men's final. Some scores have changed around here. So Daniela Flichenko, 11,520. So 11,520. Why is that significant? It is 10 points higher than we saw Pato Font in the preliminary round. So Daniela Flichenko did indeed break that tournament world's under 21 record by just 10 points. So we are adding another world's record to the list of accomplishments here at the tournament.
I think we just need to start a trophy, and everybody who breaks a record signs it at this pace, or a personal best. Look at Joel Pollan, though.
11,030 points. So that is that young man's first time over 11,000 points. He is in the lead in the overall competition. That does give him a fairly commanding lead with the slalom and jump finals still to come. But Joel taking home the silver medal in the trick event, 11,030 points. And in third place, Alexander Sameloff, 9,630 points. But right now on the water, Alejandra de Osma for her third and final jump.
Alejandra into the pace of the ramp, and there's a solid attempt. Can she ride that one out? She can, so gets on the board there. She needed to put that one together. Again, had a pass on jump number 1. Jump number 2 didn't ride it away, and here puts it together on jump number 3. And great extension, and we will wait for that score as it comes in. But just incredible skiing all the way around here, Stevie. You take a look at it, and I mean, Joel Pollan going over 11,000. Filchenko just, I mean, unreal, 11,520. And really, put the rest of the pack in a position where they had to go for broke if they were going to go for the top of the podium.
Yeah, and we saw how that played into effect, right? Into effect, we saw that huge lead that Pato Font had coming into this event, and it was easy coming into this thinking, he's a pretty solid favorite. He's so many points ahead. Even if he messes up, even if he has a bobble, he's likely still going to take home the title. And Daniela Flichenko went off and had a different script that he was reading off of, and went out there and put the pressure on. Score lowering a little bit from what initially came out at that 11.6 score, but 11.520 for him. Just unbelievable skiing. And we had talked downstairs sort of in between events how some of these scores that these young men are achieving in that open category, Joel Pollan specifically, a score like that would have the potential to win the overall open title in Malaysia later this year. And really, I have a feeling those three names that we're looking at in that men's overall competition are going to be three names who are favorited to win that competition going into Malaysia.
And that's an interesting conversation. I remember the first time I had the opportunity to watch Adam Sedemeyer ski from the boat, overall champion in his own right. And you could just tell that this was a guy on a different level, as far as overall the talent. And when you look at a guy like Joel Pollan, the way he is skiing right now, and again, the athletic ability, his upside, he is just going to continue to get better and better and better. And he is going to be one of those guys to watch later on this year. There's no question about it.
Absolutely. But right now on the water, representing the United States, Kennedy Hansen. Kennedy, our second skier, came into this event qualified with a 39.8, 131-meter jump, and she right now is, we were talking about the overall competition, Kennedy sitting fairly comfortably in that second-place position right now in the women's overall competition.
All right, so a pass on jump number 1. Now, in this event, Stevie, we had the preliminaries earlier this morning. Now we're jumping here in the afternoon, so getting to attack that ramp twice in one day. We'll see what adjustments are made. I mean, the huge benefit is basically jumping on the same day. The conditions have not changed at all from this morning, and so the approach that these skiers decide to take into the ramp will be really interesting going here into the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we get a shot sort of the tournament center here on the webcast, you can see that windsock on the top there not really moving, not much of a wind to speak of. And as we look down here in front of the ramp, flags waving a little bit in the direction of a head breeze. So it's just a slight, maybe 5-kilometer-an-hour headwind, which is sort of ideal conditions for these jumpers. They want that wind a little bit in their face. It's going to help them get up on top of the air and milk out those distances as long as they can. So headwind, obviously, the advantage. And the advantage of a nice soft headwind here is they're still going to be able to generate lots of speed. Sometimes the trade-off with that headwind blowing right into your face is it's hard to get going quick. That wind's going to be slowing you down coming into the ramp. It can be hard to carry all that speed. It's easy to get the height and the float, but it's very challenging to get the speed. And the conditions we're looking at here, we have a very calm wind, especially in your glide and your turn, and then you're getting that breath of headwind as you come off the ramp. So really conditions could not be more ideal. And, we've been really fortunate looking at the forecast coming into today. We weren't sure if the weather was going to hold off, and so far so good.
Yeah, it's looking really good out there, and so here we go. Kennedy Hansen, jump number 2, only 16 years of age, so she's going to have plenty more of these U21s to compete in. Going out with that full cut on jump number 2 with an approach that looks to be around that 580 mark away from the jump. And here she goes, set and ready on jump number 2. Kennedy Hansen decides to take that one up and over the tops of the skis. Nice easy landing, and rides that one out. So we will wait for confirmation from the judges, but Kennedy Hansen, that's a nice looking attempt on jump number 2.
And important to note here, at just 16 years of age, jumping at 31 kilometers an hour, or 31.7 miles an hour, in that junior speed still. So jumping on the lower 5-foot ramp height, as well as jumping at a slower speed than some of her competitors, but still able to qualify here for the finals with a distance of 39.8 meters. So such impressive things for her from that young age, and able to compete here despite skiing at that, like I said, that slower speed.
All right, so Kennedy Hansen, as we wait for the official score to pop up on our screen. And you take a look at the top 12. A lot of these skiers have been punching their ticket all the way through. It's like you see them in the trick event, and then you'll see them tomorrow in the slalom event, and then but the key was, like you said, Stevie, getting that invitation into the next round gives you that chance to just continue to elevate your score just a little bit more, and that's what Kennedy Hansen's trying to do here. Your second skier off the dock.
And at just 16 years of age, she qualified for all of the finals. She's sitting in that second overall position, and really has done everything I'm sure she sought out to do at the beginning of this tournament. Really has executed her game plan flawlessly, and right now out there on the water in the jump event.
All right, Kennedy Hansen, jump number 3. Strong pull into the base, and looks like she got some pretty good lift out of there. Got a distance on jump number 1 of 36.9 meters. So not sure what the distance will be on jump number 3, but another solid attempt.
And in between events, I was downstairs just talking to some of the judges about the impressive turnout of overall skiers here. And by their calculation, we had 20 male overall skiers compete here and over 19 female overall skiers. So just overall skiing so strong, and not only just in the quality of the scores, as we talked about Joe Pollan putting scores out there that are going to challenge in the open, but also just the depth of the field and having 20 athletes competing in all 3 events. As we look through these lists here, most of these people who qualified, or athletes who qualified, both male and female, in the jump event, have qualified for multiple finals. We get to see them multiple times, and just really shows that great core of skiing and that resurgence of the overall event that I've really been pushing for as of late.
I'm right there with you with a third jump of 40.1 meters. Kennedy Hansen just putting it out there just a little bit more, and great performance there from Kennedy Hansen. That moves us right along in the running order. Our skier number 3 out of the USA, Anna Gay, who is your trick winner here this afternoon with a tremendous trick performance, now taking to the water here in the jump event. And you take a look at her preliminary score, the 41.5. So we're kind of in that stack between the 39 to 42 meters, and so anything can really happen if Anna or any of these skiers pretty much in the first 7 can punch it past that 42 meter mark. It's really going to have big dividends in the overall race.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously Anna on the water already the proud holder of not only that that U21 women's trick title that she just threw down, but also our front runner in the overall competition. So as I look at her overall score here, one of the things we've been focusing on as the weekends continued is those tournament worlds overall records. The current overall record is held by Whitney McClintock, who achieved that back in 2009 with a score of 2,750 overall points. And Anna right now, right on the door of that, 2,668 overall points. So within 100 overall points of that record, and a little bit more here in the jump event could really help her close that gap.
Well, and up and over on jump number 1, and if you wanted to make up points, jump is the event to do it. There's no question about it. Jump is one of those events where you can have that jump that just kind of comes out of nowhere and sneaks up on you. You can go, what we've seen today, all the way up to 5 meters past your personal best. And here at Shalom Park, this is the place to do it.
Yeah, conditions are all set. This lake is known for big distances, and this is where these athletes are peaking for. Obviously, Anna does have the Worlds in sight at the end of the month, but this is a tournament she's peaked for in all 3 events. So if this is a time for her to pop off a really big jump, if it's going to be a time, this is it.
So 39.2 meters on jump number 1 for Anna, and we'll get set and ready for jump number 2. And make sure the Cranky Ape is down there serving up food if you're on site. Also, so many tents. Go check out everything. The official T-shirt down at those tents. You want to go get that. It's just been a tremendous day up here, Stevie, and being able to work with World of Waterskiers on this gorgeous webcast, and then certainly the site. Everything is really shaped up to be just a picture-perfect event, and the weather said, no, we're not going to rain today. We'll come back another day. So right now, everything looks ideal as Anna Gay pulling out really wide right there. You see maybe drifted back a little bit in the turn, but pretty good speed, pretty good lift. We'll have to see where that ends up.
Yeah, she hasn't improved on that jump yet. Came into this with a 41.5 meter jump, so that's really going to be the mark we're looking to beat here. Not sure Anna's quite at the level with her jumping right now where she's going to jump up to that 45 meter range where I think we're going to need to see on the podium, but like we said, she's probably got her eye on that world overall record, and she already has the women U21 trick record in her bag, so a big jump here, and any improvement over that 41.5 meter jump is going to help shim that gap up between her and Whitney, and we could see another world overall record, tournament record go down here.
All right, so Anna Gay 40 meters on jump number 2, getting set and ready on jump number 3. It'd be cool if we knew the exact calculation in meters of what it would take for Anna to take that overall, but I would have to say, really, probably if she can get over that 42 meter mark, that probably would be enough. Trying to take a look at, too, what she had in the preliminary round.
Yeah, so with the 41.5, so she's about a meter away.
It's about a meter.
And as we look at that overall race, she is commandedly in the lead, but she is going to want to continue to bridge that gap between her and Kennedy Hansen. Young Kennedy Hansen just sitting about 150 points behind her right now. So Anna not only looking to break that record, but to hang on to that top spot and go home with the title. Defend her under 21 overall title.
All right, so that one, jump number 3, is going to be right in the same range as her first 2 jumps. In the driver's seat so far in this overall race, Anna Gay having a solid performance here on Saturday in the final round of trick and jump. You see that, Stevie, the direction from right to left right there. A good shot of that.
Yeah, really a great style, and I know Anna, sort of in her 3 events, was jumping the latest. So she's been jumping the least amount of time, but really has a great technique. And the only thing I really see from her there was a little bit early out in her pullout, pulling out a little bit early the towboat, drifting back and not carrying that speed that we talked about. And starting from a faster speed obviously is going to mean you're going to hit the ramp with a faster speed, but there's also the factor of staying out wide of that towboat. The more you drift back, the closer you're going to drift into that first wake, and the less time you have once you turn to accelerate through that ramp. So that's why we're going to see a lot of our top athletes way up on the boat, carrying as much speed as they can, turning from their very widest point, because that's going to give them the most amount of time to accelerate and is ultimately going to lead to the farthest jumps.
So you take a look at the leaderboard right there. Kennedy Hansen does improve past Anna again, just that 0.1 of a meter. So she's going to gain a little bit of ground, not enough ground to bridge the gap right now, but a little bit of headway here on Saturday. So Sadie Ferguson now taking to the water, 16 years of age, out of Australia. And we had the opportunity to watch Sadie in the trick event. Solid performance there, and here she is in the jump event. She comes into the final round with a 42.3 meter jump in the preliminary round to punch her ticket here. Okay, Sadie Ferguson right now pulling out wide on that brand new Nautique.
And Sadie, very similar to Kennedy Hansen, just 16 years of age here. So really at this event to gain some experience, still able to compete in the junior ranks, but so competitive already here at the Under-21 Worlds. You know, Sadie is sitting in that 4th place position. So in the overall competition, Sadie's sitting in 4th place position, just behind Valentina Gonzalez. About 100, almost 200 points between them. So Sadie's going to need to step that up, get that closer to Valentina if she's going to want to see herself on the podium in the overall. But right now, starting things off really great, and really notice the aggressive style from her here. Obviously being from Australia, likely looking up to Jacinta Carroll, and I know yesterday up here talking with Curtis, Curtis sort of making that prediction, seeing this young lady come up through the ranks, that she's going to be kind of that next one coming up to put the pressure on the likes of Jacinta, which is a huge accolade for her, but really can see that aggressive style that she takes into the ramp.
Yeah, so we're getting set and ready for the next jump, 44.6 meters there for Sadie Ferguson.
And that's a big improvement from her. Came into this event with 42.3 meters, so adding a few meters onto that score, and that's going to bridge that gap between her and Valentina Gonzalez. And as we look, Valentina came in this with a 47.3 meter jump. That's right around her personal best distance. So we're going to look to see how much Valentina is able to improve that score in relation to what Sadie Ferguson just did, but we're going to keep an eye on that unfolding overall here as the finals develop. But Sadie Ferguson, 3rd and final jump, already has improved her score, and I think that one's even better.
Well, and I tell you, we're going to get a good view of the turn right here into the base of the ramp. And we've seen so many jumpers today, Stevie, that have had a difficult time keeping their skis together into the base of the ramp and up and over. Look where those skis are positioned. I mean, right together through the ramp, up and over. And Sadie Ferguson gaining some ground in the overall competition here today.
Absolutely. I do apologize. I did say that was her 3rd and final jump, getting ahead of myself a little bit. She does still have one more jump left. So still waiting on a distance there on jump number 2, 43.8 meters. So 43.8, so 44.6 on jump number 1. Still going to be her farthest. And again, looking, we figure that podium mark going to be very close to that 45 meter range. So 44.6 is really putting her name right into contention. It's putting her right up into that score, similar to the girls sitting in those top 4 positions right now. But if she wants to really put the pressure on, getting that score over that 44 meter mark into the mid 45 meter mark is really going to send a message, and really will put her in a very good position to finish on the podium.
Absolutely. So Sadie Ferguson pulling out for that 600-foot buoy and making her approach onto the driver's side. Great shot of that Nautique, that aerial shot right there. And now here she is into the turn, through the turn, and through the wake. Sadie Ferguson, that's a good jump right there. You could see pressed up and over and got that extra boost right at the last moment there, Stevie.
Yeah, and let's have a look at this replay here. You can see she carried a lot more speed into the turn. She'd brought it down to the 600-foot buoy, so she's starting from a faster, wider point here. And you can see right out of the turn, she gets those skis around and she gets nice and low. She's driving already, lands on the second side. You can see that full commitment, and look at where she came off that ramp. Came on just a few feet, maybe a foot off that top right corner, drove all the way through the middle, and you can see a slight little fist throw here on the camera. She knew that was a good jump, and looks to be 44.7 meters on jump number 3, so improving another tenth of a meter and getting every one of those overall points that she's going to need. So a big improvement for her in the jump event, and we'll see how that plays out for overall. And she is our current leader, Sadie Ferguson, 44.7 meters.
Oh, that's a very solid jump. You take a look at those preliminary scores, you got to get into the top 4 seeds, really, to get a score that high.
Yeah, and that put the pressure on those girls. If we look at Mary Lou Molinier and Raya Georgia with a 44.9 and a 45.7, by putting that 44.7 out there, it means they're going to have to get right close to what they did in the preliminary round. They're not going to be able to take it easy. And as we look, they did have a bit of a cushion ahead of some of the other girls, being a few meters ahead, but Sadie Ferguson really did just put the pressure on. It is going to force those girls to have to push perhaps harder than they thought, and that always changes things.
Absolutely. So there it stands right now. Sadie Ferguson, Kennedy Hansen, and Anna Gade, the top 3. Still got 8 more skiers to go here in the finals. And just getting everything set and ready. Just a beautiful day. You get a good shot of the skiers and the teams walking back and forth, getting geared up. Of course, everything after this event leads up to the men's jump, where, I mean, personal best today, we're going down left and right. So when they got to go lay it all on the line here this afternoon, anything could happen.
Yeah, as we do get a look at that shot here on the webcast, we can see those Nautique flags just waving ever so slightly, just showing us that very slight head breeze we have here. And, you know, any jumper seeing these conditions out there is just, their mouth is going to start watering, right? These are what jumpers are looking for. And, you know, that in combination with that beautiful Nautique towboat, that zero-off speed system, PCM engine, that whole package with the conditions here at Shalom Park, that's sort of the combination that we've seen that's led to these big distances, personal bests, and in a lot of cases, world records.
Yeah.
Tournament records.
All right, so we're going to get set and ready for our next skier. Good shot at the starting dock at the far end of the lake. And remember, got tents on site. Stop by Wizard Lake Marine Nautique booth to learn all about the innovation and technology behind the best performing products on the water, road, and beyond. Wizard Lake Marine is Canada's largest Nautique dealer, and they have got a deal for you. Also, stop by Waterski Alberta's booth and grab an official U21 World t-shirt before they are all gone. Also, WWS has some swag down there. That's World of Water Skiers, and all the proceeds go to improve the sport through WWS's foundation. And remember to check out the foundation tab on WWS to see what else is going on. And that's so easy to do. You take a look at the site, and if you're tuning in on Webcast, Stevie, you can really kind of take a tour of the site and all the data that's available. And we're really working from the webcast here on the data that everybody can see around the world. So not only are we getting the profile, but we're getting up-to-date information regarding tournament scores and everything like this. It's really a game changer, not only to watch it from a Mac or a PC, but also to watch it on the mobile device. Really is bringing the tournament to you for the first time.
Yeah, so people watching at home, we'd love to hear your feedback. any ideas you may have, suggestions, we love to hear from that. This is an ever-evolving platform, and it's really it's some World Water Skiers have put out there for the community. So anything you think that you could add, they really thrive off of that, and that's really what the whole thing is about, is your input and building something out there for the water skiers and for that water ski community. And just that awesome layout that we have in front of us here. We have that live updated leaderboard. As you slide across the tabs, you can see the running order, keep track of who's coming up next. If you want to keep an eye on the schedule of events, it's all right here, all on the webcast pages, skier bios down below, and really it's what kept us up to date and informed this entire tournament, and people can tune in at home and do the same. And anybody watching on the bank, same thing. If you go to worldwaterskiers.com, pull the webcast up on your phone, you'll get an opportunity to see all of the replays. You'll get to see what we see and have access to those updated leaderboards. So even those on the bank, make sure you pull out your phones, look at worldwaterskiers.com.
Well, and the cool thing about it is it's not just for the athlete, it's also for the family, and it's also for the organizers in the club. They can go onto the website, they can get involved on the website, and really it's the ultimate platform of platforms to get involved in the sport. And so we would appreciate all of the feedback here, and it's you're making this journey with technology as it moves so quickly. Stevie, we talked about it and where we are with the zero-off system and Nautique, and now all of these records being broken on the webcast side of things. World of Water Skiers really pushing the envelope with just the ever-changing pace of technology to keep up with all of the scores, and doing a tremendous job. So there's really something for everybody. So go onto the site, check it out, and if you're out there in webland and you can see some things that you're like, hey, that would be a really cool feature, go ahead and drop us a note about that, because we want your feedback. And we certainly, while you're watching the webcast, go ahead and make yourself a profile, put all that information in there, and that's perpetual information we can use as we continue to do tournaments into the future.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite things about worldwaterskiers.com. Every time I go on the website, they're adding something new. There's a new feature, there's new information, and even just small things during the course of this webcast. In the trick event, we added that little 20-second timer up on the top, and it's just small suggestions like that that really add to it, and World Water Skiers just continue at it. Tom Gray just tirelessly working at it. Jarrett Llewellyn's such a great ambassador, and I'm so fortunate that we're getting to use it, and it's basically given us all the information that we need.
Absolutely. So we're back onto the water.
Ramp has been jacked up, so all of our first athletes jumping on the 5-foot ramp height. Of course, here in our women's U21, the women do have a choice to jump on the 5 or the 5.5-foot ramp height. So height of the ramp increases, does the angle. So the angle of attack of this ramp does become steeper. What that's going to mean is, number one, it's going to mean bigger distances, but the element of danger does ramp up. As that ramp gets steeper, body position becomes more crucial. Mistakes become bigger. So we have jacked up that ramp, and right now on the water will be our first jumper at 5.5, Stanislava Prosvetova.
Stanislava taking the water here, and knowing that the current lead kind of getting put out there by Sadie Ferguson. Let's see how jump number 1 goes and where she decides to cut.
Just one of those super strong skiers coming out of the Ukraine. We've just seen the men's trick event go down, and 2 of the male competitors on that team taking home some hardware already.
All right, you go ahead and take a look at replay. Like
nice
you say,
patient turn there.
Yeah.
So you can see probably coming off the handle a little bit early off the ramp there. You saw her kind of going from that two-handed position into the one-handed position sort of very shortly after she came off the ramp. But we talked about that earlier. You lose some of that pull. So those who are watching on the bank, you might not be able to hear it at home, but once those jumpers make their turn to the ramp, there's a device in the boat that's a switch. It's called a jump switch, and basically what it is it's a pressure gauge. So as the jumpers load that rope, they're going to activate that gauge. there's a setting in zero off that the athletes can select. It's going to control how much gas that they're given coming into the ramp. So you can hear that boat, that PCM engine, really rev up and accelerate, shooting these skiers into the ramp. That's really what the name of the game is. It's a combination of their body position, that huge engine just slingshotting them into the ramp, and Sadie Ferguson, our current leader, Stanislava Prosvetova, 38.5 meter opening jump.
All right, so getting set and ready for jump number 2. And like you say, a very strong approach into the ramp. Probably just trying to bring it down the lake just a little bit more here on jump number 2. And she does that, I think, and up and over. And Stevie is probably going to be somewhere in that same ballpark, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it looked to be a very similar approach from her. Not too many adjustments there. Got maybe a little bit of height, but I think the distance is going to be right around the same. So she did come into this event qualified with a 42-meter jump, so she'll be looking to improve upon that. Again, another athlete competing in all 3 events, and you can sort of see there on the replay as we watched on the webcast, her skis splitting slightly. So leaving a bit on the table here. Let's see how her speed was in the turn. So you can see here her drifting back on the boat ever so slightly. So she's going to want to carry a bit more speed into the turn, but got down into a very nice position, super still through the wakes, drove all the way through the ramp, and you can just see those skis splitting slightly. And I think that has to do with her being a little bit too slow in the turn and not able to get that right ski all the way around. So she's going to look to fellow teammates on shore, make some adjustments, and she's got one more jump left to see if she can challenge Sadie Ferguson's 44.7 meter.
All righty, and so, and I think that was well pointed out there. You know, the goal of that full cut is really to stay up by the driver, maintain that speed, which is very difficult to do because you're trying to see where to cut and when to cut with the ramp, and your correlation to the boat and the driver, it's a lot easier to see if you drift back a little bit and then you cut in. To be up there can be kind of scary, but here she goes, jump number 3. Oh, there it is.
Jump number 3. That's what she was looking for.
Whoa.
You could see that little bit of a fist throw there. She knew she got a hold of that one, and let's watch the replay. So I can tell from the replay here, she's carrying more speed through the turn, and what that does is that speed is going to keep that right ski from sinking into the water, allow her to get it all the way around, and that transferred into that time, that huge kick off the top. So no splitting of her skis. All of that energy she used in straightening her legs, driving her hips up into the air, launching her into the air, and really a great third and final jump. 43.4 meters, so 43.4 meters, so a big improvement for her on a preliminary round, adding almost 1.5 meters to her preliminary score, adding more points in the overall, and really a beautiful jump as we look on the x-ray there, and I'm sure Dave Crowder captured some beautiful photographs of that. Make sure you check out Dave. He is on the bank taking shots, but great jumping from the Ukrainians, Stanislava Prosvetova.
And I tell you, Ukraine is having a tournament, aren't they? Wow, all day today. Just performance after performance after performance. As we get geared up, it looks like Sadie Ferguson going to hang on to the lead thus far, though, with that 44.7 meters.
7 skiers left on the dock, and right now, representing Austria, we have Alyssa Lexer. So did qualify in the preliminary round with a 42.1 meter jump. So she is going to need to improve on that if she wants to take down Sadie Ferguson, put the pressure on our last athletes coming off, and see if she can end up on the podium. We are in the final round here, so we are deciding who will be our women's under-21 jump champion, who will be sitting on the podium.
Well, Stevie, earlier today we touched on Austria and certainly Alyssa Lexer representing Austria, but historically Austria has produced phenomenal jumpers, and just such when you think of the top jumpers, obviously we were talking about the lineage of Jarrett Llewellyn and Ryan Dodd out of Canada, but the legacy of Austrian jumpers that have been able to put it together in big tournaments is something that you definitely pay attention to when you see that start to come up on the running order. So Alyssa getting ready on jump number 1. And here she goes, set and ready on jump number 1. Strong transition off the second wake there. Skis together, up and over. And she's going to ride that one out. So a nice, safe opening jump there.
Yeah, nice solid opener. No real drama. Drove right into the middle of the ramp. Got a good amount of lift. It wasn't anything too exciting. Not a late jump, but really a nice textbook first jump. It's going to have her confidence. She kind of knows where she is now and where she needs to be on these last two to challenge Sadie Ferguson.
All right, so she you get a good view right there of how she hangs on with that outside arm to ride that jump away. Just so many great camera angles here, Stevie, from World of Waterskiers. You take a look at this. I mean, the back of the ramp, the front of the ramp, in the turn. You can really dissect what's going on out there from a coach's perspective.
Absolutely, and jumping a fairly complex technical event, it seems pretty simple in that the name of the game is the person who lands the farthest away from the ramp wins. But there's so much little technical detail that's so hard to capture typically in the jump event if you're riding on the boat or if you're watching on shore. And some of these camera angles just really helping for us to explain what's going on out there. Sort of a very unique look into the jump event, and really, for me, I've been learning lots just getting these different camera angles myself.
Wait, yeah, you take a look at that camera angle. That zeroes in on the 600-foot buoy. I mean, we rarely ever get to see that. Now we switch over to the camera angle, getting to see that turn, and now the acceleration into the ramp. And then right in front of the ramp, I mean, you basically get every picture throughout the entire jump of what's taking place. And it really is really something to watch because, like you say, you think it's one cut to the ramp, and that's all we're looking at. But when you start to dissect what's going on, there's a lot of moving parts that goes into one jump.
Absolutely, and it all starts from the beginning, right? Jumping's all about that timing, and literally little things like the way you turn at that 600-foot buoy can seem completely irrelevant, but if you're at a position there, it's going to set up something down the road and lead into this chain reaction. So every part of the jump event just so important.
All right, so we're going to get that distance of 40.8 meters for Alyssa Lexer.
And this right here, just such a great angle. You get to see the skiers coming off the ramp and really getting to see that explosive, what the jumpers call the kick off the ramp, which is that straightening of the legs, the driving of the hips up and forward into the air, and it's probably the most dynamic part of the jump event.
All right, so that's going to put her in a position for her third and final jump. Great shot of that Nautique coming down the lake as she pulls out one more time for that 600-foot buoy.
Really an aggressive approach here at the 600. You see her going around that buoy, and that's not something you see jumpers do often. That means she's going to be late. She's putting it down into the course, and let's see what she's got. Driving in lots of speed. A little bit of a split on jump number 3, so skis just not squaring up underneath her, and you can see that bit of a frustration there from her on landing.
But you're right. She was bringing the heat there. A lot of speed on jump number 3. Just couldn't quite collect the body position at the base of the ramp. As we take a look at replay as she comes up through the ramp, those skis kind of, I guess, wiggly or a little bit squirrely. Never really got the traction through the ramp she was looking for.
Yeah, and you can kind of see as she comes off on that angle from the beginning of the ramp, and we'll be able to see it here from the reverse angle, is we talked about earlier, her right ski slightly starting to point towards the boat. So that right ski just a little bit behind her, hips to the inside, and you can just see it's that right ski that's giving out into the boat a little bit on the ramp that's losing her that distance. So again, coming out of the turn, that's why that speed is so important, to keep the skier up on top of the water all the way through their turn and to allow their right ski to what's called to finish the turn. So it ends up ahead of the left ski, and that's going to allow the skier as they drive to make that drive from the bottom right-hand corner to that top to the left-hand corner, and ultimately that's where all the distance comes from.
All right, so next skier looks like they're going to be getting ready is going to be Paige Reaney.
And Paige, one of those sort of second-generation Canadian stars who's been coming up. Obviously, daughter of legendary coach Matt Reaney, trains down in Florida with Matt and Cole Grant as well. And Paige, really a strong three-event skier. Great in all three events. Probably most known for her slalom ability. Very, very good slalom skier. Personal best into 10.75. But really, if we were to count overall as an individual event, I would say she's strongest in that. She's a very, very strong overall skier. Went down a little bit early in the trick event, and I know Paige was disappointed, but she's going to be looking to make that up here on the jump event, gain some more points for Team Canada, because, of course, important to remember, there is that team competition going on. So there's a lot going on. There's individual finals here. Our athletes are trying to get scores to compete in the overall competition, as well as the athletes skiing representing their countries here are skiing for that team title as well. So gaining all of those valuable points here. And I know Paige was disappointed, didn't get that trick score, didn't get the points for the team she was hoping for. So going to look to make that up, and she's got a big distance to make up here in jump. She's got more left in the tank, so going to see what she can do.
Well, that's a good point, Stevie. This is when the spreadsheets start coming out for all the team coaches because really it depends if it's, kind of going for the podium, but another important thing is the team aspect. Just where are the numbers falling out? And here comes Paige on jump number 1 into the base of the ramp, lifting that ski, and good extension there. So gets on the board on jump number 1.
Yeah, so as we watch the replay here, Paige keeping that ski up in her glide, and that's going to be to keep as much speed as possible. You can see she only put that ski down right before she turned, that nice patient turn, and you can see that left ski up in the air, right ski down. That's meaning that right ski is out ahead. She's got all of that weight in it. That allowed her to drive through the ramp, and 42 meters, jump number 1. So qualifying, Paige came in 42.4 meters and already just half a meter from that on jump number 1, which, as we talked about, for most jumpers is a bit of a warm-up.
It's a bit of a warm-up, and that's the great thing about jumping. You can build from jump 1, 2, 3. It just depends on the jumper and the strategy. Great shot there.
Yeah, and really on that shot, you get to see how high up we are and that great vantage point that we get looking down. Sitting up in this conference center almost 5 stories above the water, it really is just a very unique perspective to have. And I have watched Ryan and Freddie both battle it out here, and you learn so much about the difference in technique from that great vantage point. So super fortunate here on the webcast that we are getting that perspective, and as we talked about all those different camera angles.
Well, and in a lot of different types of sports these days, a lot of people in a training atmosphere go into drone views just because you get to see the length of the lake, and how those cuts ultimately play out. Here goes Paige Reaney on jump number 2, and another strong cut. Looks like a better pop there. We'll have to see how the score comes down, but pretty good attempt there on jump number 2.
Yeah, so she did look like she had more pull coming off the ramp there from that shot. We had that shot coming off the top of the ramp and a little bit more explosive. So as we see the replay here, similar speed in the turn, getting that right ski around, but you can see she starts to drive a little bit earlier. She was later on that one, works her way just in that optimum window, just 2 feet off that right-hand corner, driving, coming off from just to the left of center. So timing great on that one. 43.5 meters, so that timing did lead to more distance. Paige has bumped her score up. She has gained more points for Canada, and she's looking for more. I know she's not maxed out at all. Very strong jumper, so she's going to be looking at that 44.7 meter jump of Sadie Ferguson, and we know, looking down, a jump of in the 45 meter range is what it's going to take to be on the podium, and Paige has one more jump left to see if she can be the one to put the pressure on.
Well, I tell you, a jumper is just never satisfied. That's the nature of jump, right? You go get a good jump under your belt, a couple jumps, you always want to go further. And then it always seems when you go further than you've ever gone before, that still wasn't enough. You want to go out and even go further. Paige Reaney right here, 43.5 meters. I would venture to say would love to put it out there another couple meters. Let's see what she can do on her final jump on jump number 3. A lot of speed there, and another consistent pop. I think she liked that one. So let's take a look at this replay, Stevie. Again, she had very consistent round of jumping here for Paige.
Yeah, and as you see here, she sailed a little bit further past that nautique buoy. She was later on this one, and I'm interested to see where she hits the ramp, right in the same spot. So she turned later, she worked herself onto the same spot. So just by simple physics, she's going to be going faster. And that faster speed led to a further distance. So great consistent jumping from her. We are waiting on the distance on jump number 3, but 44.6 meters. So that's going to be the jump she was looking for. That's going to give Canada those missing points. So Paige really redeeming herself and just putting herself a tenth of a meter behind Sadie Ferguson with a 44.6 meters. So Sadie still in that leading position, 44.7 meters.
Strong position there for Australia and Sadie Ferguson in this final round. So Paige Rennie just 0.1 meter behind in second place, and that's our 7th skier out of 12. So we're in basically the back end of this pack, and things are really going to start to shift as you take a look at those preliminary scores, though. Very, very close, and you get the idea that any of these skiers, and I'm sure Sadie Ferguson's looking on, has the ability with a 44.7 to podium here, even though she was up earlier in the round.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a tight field as we look through here, sort of from our first skier off the dock all the way down to our current skier, Emma Brunel, less than 2 meters between them. So that's 8 skiers all within a 2-meter gap. So that huge pile up there. And like you said, any one of them able to put a big score out there. And so far we've already seen Paige Rennie with a big improvement going from 42.4 meters all the way to 44.6. And Sadie Ferguson as well going from the 42.3 to 44.7. So the average right now, most of these ladies are improving on their preliminary scores. Conditions continue here to just be absolutely perfect with that breath of headwind. And right now on the water, pulling out for a double weight cut, representing France, Emma Brunel.
Here we go, Emma, jump number 1. And right before that 600-foot buoy. So this is going to be a fairly decent and late approach. And couldn't really tell on that one. I think it maybe ended up still a little bit early. I'm not real sure. I mean, I thought the way she came off the 600-foot buoy that she was going to be in that sweet spot right there of just carrying enough speed, but didn't quite get that explosion off the top of the ramp.
Yeah, and as we look at that nautique buoy in the background there, you see she was a little bit earlier than Paige was on her last jump there. Starting her turn right around there. We saw Paige sail past that buoy on jump number 3 before she made her turn, and arriving to the ramp a little bit early, and you can see just falling over onto that left ski at the bottom and not getting the height that she wanted. But I'm going to look to bring it down a little bit. As I watched on the replay, she was aggressive at that 600-foot buoy, but as she came up on the boat, you noticed she put that second ski down very early. And what that does is one ski is going to glide a lot better than 2. So she put that second ski down. It slowed her down probably a little bit sooner than she was expecting. So probably ended up a little earlier than she wanted. So that spot at the 600-foot buoy to me looked like good timing. I would just suggest she keeps that one ski up, tries to keep all that speed coming into the turn. And if she's a little bit later and able to drive onto the ramp, we're going to see her challenge that 44 to 45 meter range.
So jump number 1, 42.5 meters for Emma. Going to bounce back here on jump number 2. Like you say, Stevie, getting out wide, and this is one of those where you just need to bring it down the lake a little bit more. Let's see what happens here. A lot of speed here on jump number 2. Oh, good kick there. And you can see there's still more that she's looking for. But this transition off the second wake, I thought here that there was very little space between the second wake and ramp, which would tell you that she was later into the base of the ramp. Good direction there.
Yeah, I was able to keep her direction. So you saw her turn a little bit further down those buoys. That did allow her to drive onto the ramp. Definitely going to be a farther score, 44.5 meters. So again, improving on that score, not enough to take the lead, puts her a tenth behind Paige Rennie. So we now have just 0.3 of a meter separating first from third. So that just a testament to how close this field is. And we've been talking, any of these girls can really do it on the right day. And Emma Brunel right there, but still has quite a bit left in the tank, I think.
Emma Brunel going to get geared up and ready for jump number 3. Yeah, you look at that. I mean, the gap, she's only 2 or 0.2 meters from the lead. Now, I mean, good to know on jump number 2. Kind of found her spot out there on the lake. Now, a couple of adjustments here. I mean, she could easily go another meter. There's plenty there in the tank.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about that first jumper to put a score into the 45-meter range could very well likely see themselves on the podium. So let's see if she can do it here. Third and final jump, Emma Brunel.
All right, here comes Emma digging into the base of the ramp. And good lift once again. That's gonna be very, very close to the lead.
Yeah. So great effort from her. You can see she was a little bit later here on jump number 3. Moved it down the course. Got herself set. Came across. Let's see where she hits the ramp here on this camera angle. You can see there a little bit later on that one, hitting closer to the corner. And anytime you see that, it means the skier is going to be driving harder onto the ramp. 45.5 meters. So that's that score we talked about, that 45.5 meters. So all those girls left on the dock, Mary Lou Molinier, Raya Georgia, Dominique Allard, and Valentina Gonzalez, all taking note now. Our current leader, Emma Brunel, 45.5 meters on jump number 3. That is now the score to beat. And, you know, Emma just set herself up very, very nicely. She just gets to sit back now, no pressure, and watch. And she gets to see if she did enough to earn herself a spot on the podium.
Well, what's really interesting about that jump, you know, where she ended up into the base of the ramp, I really felt that she got her load out of her sling off the top. You know, she got that pull from the boat, and it shows there going 45.5 meters. So Emma Brunel jumps into the lead. Right behind her, Sadie Ferguson, 44.7, and Paige Rini at 44.6.
Yeah, and you mentioned that jump sling. We actually haven't talked about that jump sling, but if you're watching on the video, you notice that these jumpers have usually it's a black belt around their waist with a loop over on the right-hand side. And the athletes are going to stick their arm into that loop, and basically in the jump event, there's so much force coming from that boat that's trying to pull you back towards the boat. That sling arm just locks your right arm into your hip and allows you to generate more force against that boat coming through. So sling is crucial in safety in jumping, just keeping your position through the ramp, and it's also the one thing that skiers can lean against that's able to have them generate such ridiculous speeds.
Well, as we get ready for our next jumper, a quick shout out to all of our sponsors: Nautique Boats, Wizard Lake Marine, PCM Engine, Zero Off, D3 Skis, and Masterline. Definitely couldn't host a tournament without those important sponsors. And then also all of our local sponsors: PTW Energy Services, UFA Coop, White Ridge Inc., Bellatrox, our fuel provider, Monarch Flooring, Bishop and McKenzie, ME, Matistic Corp., NBS Auto, Rick Lehman, Cooper Brothers, Tim Sabo, and then the Wyndham Hotels being so close to the site. I'm sure all of our officials and skiers are happy about that.
Yeah, they're not quite staying as close to the action as we are at night, but other than our digs here at the lake, the Wyndham Hotel going to be the closest and nicest option.
Well, I always say that is, like, you know, as the announcer, you usually get the best spot, but like, you come here, not only do you get the best spot to announce from, you get the best spot to set up, you know, come in, wake up, have coffee, be at the lake. It's truly an amazing treat.
So on the water, representing France, Mary Lou Molinier, huge jump number 1, 45.52 meters. So you see here they put in that 0.202 of a meter. So Emma Brunel also with a score of 45.5 meters. So I'm wondering if that extra 0.02 would move Mary Lou Molinier in front of her. But 45.5 meters for Mary Lou.
And you take a look at Mary Lou's profile right there, wearing that Ragin' Cajun shirt. So down there, Louisiana Lafayette, current leader, 19 years of age, and that's the way to get things started on jump number 1. Might as well go out there and take the lead.
Yeah, and really what it does is set you up. Is we talk about that opening jump as a warm-up jump, but when you do that, you're really only giving yourself 2 attempts to really push it out there. And Mary Lou going for it on jump number 1. She's put a score on the board that she knows is already challenging the leaders and has really set herself up now where, oh no!
Oh, just a horrific crash there, and we got to make sure that she is okay. And so we take a look at replay.
So let's see what happened here. As she came into the ramp, you can see that left ski bouncing a little bit, her weight all the way over it, and as she hits, you can see that right ski just tucking behind her, catching in the wind, and really you could see her trying to tuck and just stuck in a really awkward position there where her skis were just on the verge of going under. Sort of a horrific-looking crash. I'm glad to see that she's okay. She did wave signaling that she was all right, but going down very hard there, and that is obviously something that is a possibility in the jump event. Anytime you put those skis on, we don't like to see it, but glad to see she's all right standing up on the back of the boat, and she still has one more jump left.
Yeah, they're going to make sure that she's okay. She got stuck in that position mid-flight where you have to make the decision to stay with the jump or roll into the jump, and then just couldn't quite get over the tops of the skis and really took a fall there. So they'll make sure that she's okay. And like you said, if everything is okay, she'll take another jump. Now, Mary Lou is the leader, so jump number 1, if she decides not to take another jump, at this point in the game would not affect her. But, yeah, that's a tough fall there.
Yeah, it's a round of applause from her.
And it does look like they're going to go over and pick up the skis and see if that she wants to put them on and take one more crack at it.
And this is a good chance to see those dedicated volunteers we have standing on site for the safety of our athletes there. We see on shore, we have our rescue crew ready to go. They're there for the safety of the athletes. If anything goes wrong, they're going to be the first ones to respond. So a huge shout out to them. One of the most crucial jobs on the ski site is that safety crew. So they've helped, they've checked her out. She's feeling all right. Thank goodness. Really a nasty looking crash there. And it is not something we ever like to see in the jump event, but again, it is a reality of the jump event. It is the most exciting. Big reason of that is the risk involved, right? Big risk, big reward, and that's really the story of jump.
Yeah, and it looks like she's putting some soap into those bindings and is going to put the skis back on. And you know, sometimes, Stevie, after a crash like that, the best thing is, even, you know, depending on where and how you feel, is just to get back in the water and get back up on your skis, you know, just as a confidence thing. And she has done just that. She's back in the water for jump number 3.
Absolutely, and I'm just super impressed. This is one of the most difficult things to do in all of jumping. You go out there, you take a crash, you're not feeling good, you're a little self-conscious, you put your skis back on, and, you know, as they say, you get back on the horse and do it again. And not easy for any jumper to do, but really kudos to her for strapping the skis back on, and she's going to go out there for jump number 3, and already we see putting herself into the lead with that 55.2 meter jump.
All right, so Mary Lou getting ready for jump number 2.
So it does appear, we saw that 0.2 in there.
Yep.
So there does appear to be a typo on one of our lists, but we do have that score corrected. It does look like Emma Brunel still in the lead with the 45.5 meters. Mary Lou Molinier's first jump, 45.2 meters. So not quite able to ellipse team member Emma Brunel, but she's back on her skis and she has one more attempt left.
All right, so let's see what she can do. And tough fall there on jump number 2. Let's see if she can come back. Mary Lou pulling out on that 600-foot buoy. Look at that approach past the 600-foot buoy. So holding nothing back here. And here we go. Jump number 3. Mary Lou into the base of the ramp, decides to take it. And Wow.
Put your hands together for her. That is one of the most difficult things to do in all of jumping. She did not back off. She did not take it easy. Went out there after a horrific crash, put her skis back on, put a jump out there, and she's got a fan in me. Excellent, excellent work from Mary Lou Molyneux.
Wow, and that was out there, Stevie. I mean, that is a terrific jump. Not only did she get up and over the jump, but let's see where this comes in, because that was an aggressive approach. As we wait for that jump. All right, we're going to go down to Jared as we get the distance on that last jump.
Kennedy, really good skiing first round. You even picked up some in the tricks. Congratulations, you got third.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I was super happy.
That's a PB.
Yes, and also in jump.
Not a bad tournament. Not
No.
too bad. And you're going to be in the finals. There's an overall race going on. It's pretty tight.
Yes.
You can improve in slalom.
Yeah, I'm hoping to improve in slalom, but I'm super happy at the end of the day.
You're going to go for 3 PBs.
Yes,
Yeah,
for
okay.
sure.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yes.
So you skied at the Junior Worlds last year in
Yes.
Spain, and you came first overall there.
Yes.
And so this is your first under 21
Yeah,
Worlds.
this is my first under 21, so it was so cool to be here, but because I didn't know if I was going or if I was going to make the team, but it's been a really good tournament.
And next year we're going back to Corey's, and you ski with Corey, so that's your home site.
Yes.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, you'll be primed for that one too. Okay.
Yes.
So congratulations on the third. That's incredible. And
Thank you.
good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Yeah. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Jarrett. Well, Mary Lou on that third jump, 45.5 meters. That, a lot of jumping. Obviously, the dangerous aspect of jumping is when somebody goes out there and crashes. After that crash, I was impressed that she was just able to get back onto the platform. And now, to not only do that, but bounce back with a 45.5, that is one of the most impressive things that I have seen in a long, long time.
Absolutely. I'm actually going to put that performance up there with some of those huge scores that we've seen thrown down. That was so difficult, and any jumper who's been in that position before sort of knows that feeling that Mary Lou had there going out on jump number 3, and to just stick with it, to attack and end up that being her farthest of the set, and now ties her with teammate 4 the lead. Just absolutely spectacular. And we move into our final 3 jumpers representing Switzerland, Raya Georgia.
All right, so Raya getting out wide. Jump number 1 behind that Nautique, and she's into the base of the ramp. Good float time there. So solid jumping. We're starting to see this competition really pick up from the preliminary scores.
Absolutely, and Raya Georgia, 45.7 meters coming into this, so her preliminary score would be enough to climb on top of Mary Lou Molyneux, and if she's to do that, she does solidify a spot on the podium with just 2 jumpers left on the dock, so eyes on that scoreboard of that score, 45.5 meters. If it exceeds that, she is on the podium. 44.9 meters. So already right in the mix on jump number 1, just half a meter shy of what she needs, 44.9. But she has 2 more jumps, came in qualified with a 45.7, so definitely more than capable of taking the lead. And we could see our first member of the podium, or we will know our first person on the podium at the conclusion of this skier.
So Raya's going to go down the lake and bring her back on jump number 2, 44.9. Looking to build off that, obviously trying to hopefully get into that probably 46, 47 range would be absolutely huge, because that's where the top of the podium's probably going to fall somewhere in that mark. So Raya getting set and ready. Let's see where she turns. So she is right after the 600-foot buoy. But like you say, these Nautique buoys, when we go back to replay, we'll have a really good indication of just how late they're going into the base of the ramp. A lot of speed there and another good jump.
And
so
that was a nice aggressive turn. You can see her getting after it right out of the turn, which typically is going to tell you that she's in the course. So let's have a look at where she's at. We're just looking past these nautique buoys. So we're going to pass one and waiting to see how far past the second she waits to turn here. Looking right around that point we saw Paige Reaney at. Getting a little aggressive, seeing where she comes into the ramp here, right on the middle. Great timing there. Excellent second jump. Was it far enough to earn her a spot on the podium? Time will tell.
Okay, 44.9 meters there for Raya. 44.9. So, she is knocking on the door, but still about a half meter to go. Looking to put it out there. I think that approach where she's at, where she is on the lake, just needs a little bit more speed through the turn. It looked like she was kind of setting up there. Didn't quite get the speed out of the turn that she probably wanted to. So let's see what adjustment she makes on jump number 3.
Yeah, it'll all start here at the 600-foot buoy. We saw her go around it on jump number 2, but how far she waits on it this time will tell. Right around that same spot. So she liked that spot on the 600-foot buoy. Gliding out wide. Let's see what she can do. She needs a half meter for the podium.
All right.
And you can see throwing the head back. I'm not sure she thinks it's enough. It's going to be right around those other jumps, right in that half meter mark or so away. So we're going to wait on the scoreboard to see. Just 2 jumpers left on the water. 46 meters.
Wow.
Emma Brunel. So 46 meters. So she threw her head back on the landing, but unofficially I do think we will see her on the podium. So congratulations to Raya Georgia. Can do no worse at this point than a bronze medal. But there are 2 skiers left on the dock. Canada's Dominique Dodo Allard and our top seed, Valentina Gonzalez.
All right, so we're in the top 2 seeds now. As Raya just jumps into the lead, 46 meters. Emma Brunel right behind her, 45.5 meters. Mary Lou with that 45.5 meters. And here it is, Stevie, the top 2 seeds. And the sun has come out. It's like the clouds are parting. It's like the perfect timing of the whole event right now.
And this on the water right now, our defending under-21 women's world jump champion, Dominique Allard, representing Canada. Not too many titles this young lady has not earned yet, and looking to put 2-time under-21 world jump champion on her resume.
And when you take a look at a skier like Dominique, she's one of those skiers that definitely has an aggressive approach on jump number 1. I mean, kind of holds nothing back. The same cut you see on jump number 3 is what you see on jump number 1. And so this is one of those skiers that can quickly get out there on jump number 1 and grab the lead.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, she comes into this event with a personal best 52.5 meters. So she can send it a long way down the lake. She was super disappointed in her preliminary round, but did what she needed to do to earn herself a spot in the finals, and this is really where it counts. So eyes on the water, the favorite to win this event, the defending under-21 women's world jump champion, Dominique Allard.
All right, so jump number 1, she's going to ride that away. Now break this one down for us. She looks like she's wide as we see the nautique buoys. There's 1, there's 2, so a little bit earlier from the rest of the field right there.
Yeah, a little bit of a conservative approach, not something I'm used to seeing from Dominique, and normally you see her as soon as those skis turn around, she's right on it right away, and I could kind of see as she turned her skis, she knew she was early, a similar approach actually that we saw fellow Canadian Thomas Daigle take. She knew she was too early, she sort of pointed her skis at the ramp and worked her way into the bottom. So 43.6 meter, nice warm-up jump for her, but she's going to need quite a bit more if she wants to take the lead. Valentina Gonzalez sitting back on the dock, came in with a 47.3 meter jump. She's hungry to take home that women's under 21 jump title as well, and Dominique going to need to really put a jump out there, probably in excess of 47 meters, and going to be looking to push to that 50 meter envelope to feel going into the dock that she's done enough to win.
All right, so you can see there on her profile, training down at Jack Travers. Dominique coming back in, jump number 2, and like you say, I mean, plenty of room to work with here. Just needs to bring it down the lake just a little bit here to accelerate into the base of the ramp.
And still so young in her career, but so accomplished, and Dominique has done it time and time again. So looking to see if she makes the adjustment here. She's definitely later on this one. Still a conservative approach on the first side, but a lot more speed, a lot more height, and that's definitely a better jump for her. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough just yet, and she's put herself here one more jump. See if she can defend her under 21 women's world jump title.
Yeah, let's take a look at this approach. Looked like she got all of the kick off the top of the ramp. Good angle into the base of the ramp.
And I've started to see a little bit of a different style from Dominique over these last few months, and used to really get low out of the turn, dig really hard, and really struggled a lot of the time to get her lift and all of her pop out of the ramp. And as you said there, that's one of the best motions through the ramp that I've seen from Dominique. So not the distance we're used to seeing out of her, but really, really great ramp work. And I think if she can combine that ramp work with that more speed, we're going to see her in that personal best territory.
So we'll see where she ended up on jump number 2.
44.5 meters on jump number 2. So Dominique Allard, one jump left to go. And right now, not sitting in a podium position. So this is where we're going to see that experience. I'm curious to see how she adjusts here. Like we said, she's won so many titles in the past. One jump left to go.
Well, and will she stick with the approach that you're saying is kind of an evolution in her skiing of not getting so low out of the turn on jump number 3 when she has to put one together? Here we go. Jump number 3. Dominique going for it all here. And up, over, good float. But I don't know. It's going to be very, very close.
Yeah, so while we wait on the judges' score on her third and final jump, we are down with Jarrett Llewellyn on the dock. Jarrett, take it away.
What did she just go?
46.1.
Oh, no.
God damn it.
Oh, well, we just came in. She just
Oh,
went.
is it filming?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
0.1. That's hard. I've had
Yeah.
that happen a lot of times. That's
Yeah.
hard to, yeah.
But it's my first world, so I'm happy with even making finals. And I didn't ever think I would podium. My goal was finals, so I'm super happy.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. You're guaranteed third for sure.
Yeah.
Your teammate's going out
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Well, not your school teammate,
I
right?
mean, she's my training teammate too. We train all the time, all day together.
Okay,
So
all right.
yeah.
And you're just coming back from an injury. You had
It wasn't a bad injury.
yeah.
I was just out for like 2 weeks or so. But so I decided not to trick. But I came here mainly for jump, so it paid off and it was good.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
And are you in the slalom final?
No, I didn't.
Okay, all right. So,
Next 2 years maybe.
yeah, good. All right.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
that
you.
was awesome.
Thank you.
Shit, I should have known.
Awesome, thanks Jarrett. And while we had that interview, we did have the last jump of Dominique Allard recorded, an unbelievable 46.1 meters. So we saw as Raya Georgia there saw that score come up, you saw that disappointment, just getting beat by that 1/10 of a meter, and Dominique now moving into that leader position. So Raya Georgia moves down to second place again, can do no worse than third. Dominique can do no worse than silver, but this young lady, the door has been left open. Dominique taking that second place position, but has really left the door open for young Valentina Gonzalez, who's been so strong in the jump event for a number of years here. And, you just knew it was a matter of time before she was in this position. And, no easy task, a lot of pressure put on her here, but she's risen to the occasion before, and let's see what she can do. Going to need a jump in excess of 46.1 meters to take the lead from Dominique Allard. And to be that women's U21 jump champion, 47.3 in the preliminary round, so she's more than capable of doing it. And let's see if she can get done here on jump number 1.
All right, everybody's looking at the top seed here in the women's jump event. And here we go, Valentina Gonzalez, jump number 1. And she's charging it on jump number 1. Big float. I don't know. It's going to be right in there, but
that's going to be close. So we're going to wait for that scoreboard.
Wow. I mean, charging it. A lot of speed. The skis kind of split off the top of the ramp, but that might be enough speed. We're just going to have to wait and see.
.4 meters, so 45.4 meters, so does move her into 4th place, or actually rather 5th place. We do have a tie with Emma Brunel and Mary Lou Molinier at 45.5 meters, but that was just her opening jump. We saw that. She still left lots on the table. We had that bit of a ski split, and she was charging right from the start. She saw Dominique left that door open, and this young lady is a competitor. You can just see it in her eyes. You can just see it when she's on the water. She is a fierce competitor, and you could see that in her right there. You could tell, you know, she's salivating at this opportunity to become the junior world champion. Went out there around the 600-foot buoy right from the start, put herself within half a meter of the lead with that split, and she's still got 2 more jumps left to take this jump title.
Yeah, you're just basically looking at this point of a couple minor adjustments here for jump number 2 to see if she can take the championship. Under 21 world championship title is just 1 jump away, and here we go into the base of the ramp once again. Oh, good kick. Wow. Man, it is so close.
That's going to be right around that same distance. My guess, that was enough. I'm guessing that's going to be 46.2 or 3 meters. But we'll see. We'll wait for the judge's official word on that. Eyes on the scoreboard across the lake. 47.5 meters. Our under 21 women's jump champion, Valentina Gonzalez. And she went out on jump number 1 and attacked and kept that same aggression on jump number 2. 47.5 meters. And congratulations to that young lady of Chile, our new women's under 21 jump champion. She has 1 more jump left, and curious to see what she's going to do here. She is still in the overall competition, so she's won the jump event, but she's still involved in this overall competition, and she knows she's still got more in the tank and is going to look to push it a little bit farther to gain those points in the overall competition, to gain Team Chile those extra points. So I look to see her to still take this jump, to not back off, and to still be aggressive, because as I said, she's a competitor, and she knows, jump is done with. Now I need this 3rd jump for overall.
That's exactly right. So Valentina Gonzalez, look at the approach. Look how hard she's cutting off of the 600-foot buoy. I mean, she is way up on the driver's side and dropping in a lot of power, a lot of speed into the base of the ramp, and another good extension up and over. And that is just a truly good round of jumping, and she is your world champion out there. So, I mean, just getting it done as the top seed, no better feeling than that.
Absolutely, and to keep her composure there on jump number 3, after jump number 2, knowing, hey, I've already won, and to keep your focus and to grit down and to still get off a 2nd jump, super impressive, and just shows her athletic maturity out there, that she was able to kind of put that win behind her, go out there, refocus, knowing, hey, I want to further score for overall. So huge congratulations to her, our new women's under 21 jump champion, Vale Gonzalez, which means our podium sits Valentina Gonzalez on top. In 2nd place, Canada's Dominique Allard, and Raya Georgia from Switzerland in the bronze medal position. So congratulations to those girls. Such a close-fought battle, and Valentina taking home the title.
Yeah, really close-fought battle, and congratulations to Valentina getting it done as the top seed. Truly an amazing event, and congratulations to all of these jumpers. I mean, you look at the preliminary scores, and you were looking at what they could do in the final, outpacing by a meter or 2 of their preliminary scores. So truly a very competitive, hard-fought event. your champion here in 2019, Valentina Gonzalez. So with that, we will move right in to the men's jump final.
Absolutely. 12 men qualified for this event just earlier on this morning. Jumping first thing this morning, we had 12 jumpers. We will see Tobias Georges, Luca Rockenwald, Lindsay Bourdier, Ethan McKinnon, Thomas Daigle, Benjamin Lutz, Rob Hazelwood, Quinn Haines, Alexander Sameloff, Daniela Flichenko, Carlo Basic, and Joel Pollan. All coming up next. That will be our men's jump final. We did just conclude women's jump, and at the end of the women's jump event, we do look to the overall. Sitting in first, still Anna Gay. Behind her, we have Kennedy Hansen. Sadie Ferguson still holding on to that third place spot. And our new under-21 women's jump champion, Valentina Gonzalez, sitting in fourth place just behind Sadie, with just 9 overall points between them. So
Wow.
9 overall points separating those two. Valentina did improve on her jump score from the prelims of 47.3 to 47.5 to make that battle even closer, but it's going to come down to the slalom event.
Yeah, that, the slalom is one of those things, again, you just never know what could happen, and it depends on how those scores were shaken out. Was there a half buoy, was there a quarter buoy? Does somebody go and only decide to kind of run the pass before the pass? Hey, do I get a full 2 or do I go to 3? And that's where the spreadsheets really come into it, is really breaking down what you're going to have to do, and that kind of determines how you have to attack the course.
Yeah, and absolutely. And when we look at a score like 9 overall points out of a possible 3,000, we're talking about a quarter of a buoy. We're talking about a side slide. We're talking about a tenth of a meter, just margins that are astronomically small. So every little bit's going to count here, and that overall battle is going to come right down to the wire to see how our women's overall podium shakes out.
Oh, absolutely perfect. We take a good look at the water down there as we run a simulation pass. Again, a big shout out to all of our sponsors: Nautique Boats, Wizard Lake Marine, PCM Engine, Zero Off, D3 Skis, Masterline, our local sponsors, PTW Energy Services, UFA Coupe, White Ridge Inc., Bellatrox, our fuel provider, Monarch Flooring, Bishop and McKenzie, ME Medistic Corp., NBS Auto, Rick Lehman, Cooper Brothers, Tim Sabo, and Wyndham Hotel. A big shout out to Wyndham Hotel. The proximity with where the site is, where the hotel is, all sorts of things going on there that are just so good for the skiers, for the officials. A big shout out, a big thank you to Wyndham Hotels. Also, if you're still hungry, make sure to go check out the Cranky Ape here on site, serving up some good food. And also therapist on site, Dr. Tyler Fix, and his RMT will be on site for the rest of the day and tomorrow, so check that out. Also, if you're interested in the banquet, today's probably the day to solidify your ticket to the banquet. And a big shout out, obviously, to Sports Canada, Waterski Canada, Waterski Alberta, Alberta Sport Connection. Just an amazing thing. All these great sponsors. And it looks like we're going to go down dockside.
Incredible. That was a good set. How's that feel to be world champ?
It feels amazing. It's a dream since I was like 4 years old, since I started skiing. So I'm really happy to be here with my family, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's the whole family. You guys are always traveling together, and everybody's just in tears. It's so good. Everybody's feeling it.
Yeah, this is an awesome sport. Like, it's a family sport. I was on the podium with my teammate from school, Raya. So it's amazing. Like, we told each other like 6 months ago, let's go to Worlds, let's go both in the podium. So it's amazing. It's a dream come true, and I'm so happy.
And you're in the overall race. You're fighting it out. Overall is just so hard on you, and you're doing it. So.
Yeah, actually, overall is crazy how fast it can change. Like this morning, I woke up, I was fourth place. Then I tricked. I was third place. Then Sadie jumped. I went back to fourth. And I don't know, after my jump today, I don't think it's enough for go back to third. But actually, after that second jump, I was like, I had to do a third jump. I was gonna come home, but I had to do another jump just for the overall.
Yeah, that's incredible. Congratulations and good luck for the rest of the season. But you can go home and relax after this one.
Thank you, Jared. I'll see you, and everyone go check World Waterskiers.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, and she's going to be wearing that. She's going to be wearing that grin for the next little while. Proud holder of the new under-21 world title here at Shalom Park. But we've moved on from our women's competition into the men's. So 12 men biting for the spot and the right to call themselves the under-21 world jump champion. And on the water, our first skier representing Argentina, Tobias Georges.
All right, so Tobias getting up and over. Jump number 1 in the overall competition. Man, you think about, we saw these guys earlier this morning in the preliminary round, but a lot of skiing has taken place today.
Some of these athletes, and we've been going on and on about the strength of the overall here. With these guys skiing so strong in overall, this is going to be the third time on the water for a lot of these skiers. Competing earlier on today in the jump preliminary round, we then had our trick final round, and now we're moving into the final jump round. And for a lot of these guys, as I see, Joel Pollan, Alexander Sameloff, Danielo Flichenko, Robert Hazelwood, Thomas Daigle, Lindsay Bourgier. These are all guys who, and including Tobias Georges, this is their third set of the day. And, you know, sometimes in training, these guys will do upwards of 5 sets a day, but 3 competition tournament sets at the World Championships in a day is no easy feat. But right now, Tobias Georges on the water.
All right, here he goes, jump number 2. So he's right around that 52 meters on jump number 1. Jump number 2 now for Tobias Georges. Oh, yeah. Great kick, great extension. You can see getting pulled over to the top of those skis there.
Yeah, and we'll watch on the replay here. Really a great style from Tobias. So you can see him waiting out, and you can see still staying fairly wide up on the boat here, waiting till he's past that nautique flag to make that turn and waiting for the skis to come around. He's locked into a great position. You can see very little movement coming into the ramp, getting all of that extension, and then here was the best part, that airform. Really leaning out over those skis nice and wide, and really mimicking that wing and able to end up with a 55.3 meter jump, qualified with a 54.9, so he's already improved on that, and he's still got another jump left.
All right. And you talk about the aspect of hitting the waters multiple times in a day, and you know, it was explained to me recently, it's not so much in a practice environment. You go out, it's a very kind of calm, relaxed environment, even though physically you're pouring everything you can into the practice set. It's hard to emulate the adrenaline rush, right? Because you're trying to get into the finals. Okay, I made the finals. Wait a minute, I got to go trick. I'm in the finals and trick. Now I got to come back in the finals and jump. And your adrenaline all day long is up and down, up and down. So Tobias Georges, 55.3 on jump number 2. Here he goes. Jump number 3 for Tobias, and S is out and comes back into the handle. Strong turn into the base of the ramp. Great flow time once again. So finding his rhythm here in the final, Tobias Georges.
Yeah, just 17 years old. Really like his technique there. Just a very technical jumper, very, very still and calm through the turn. You can see on this one he waited even later past those buoys, but still had that patient turn, and this is the key here. Getting locked into that position, no movement through the wakes, no movement through the ramp, and then you can see that commitment up and through that top right-hand corner of the ramp. You can see him willing the tips of those skis, cutting across that jump ramp and getting all of that snap, not only from the nautique towboat and zero off, but also from the stretch of that rope.
All right, so 57.6 meters there, so 56.6 57.6 meters. That
is a massive improvement over his preliminary score of 54.9. So throwing a huge jump out there, and that's going to put the pressure on a lot of the guys coming out. The next 4 jumpers out here qualified with a score of less than that. So they're now going to need to exceed their preliminary scores if they even just want to hold the seed they achieved in the preliminary round, let alone improve on that position. So really a great effort out there from Tobias Grigoris. And with a score like that, I have to believe that's got to be right around personal best territory.
All right, yeah. Tremendous. So Luca Rockenwald now taken to the water from Austria, getting geared up and ready. And you can see that a lot of the scores in the girls jump event, as well as Tobias showing us, what he has in store going multiple meters further here in the final round. 53.9 meters was his personal best coming into the round. And that's
another 5-meter personal best.
It just keeps on growing. So many personal bests. That's what I say. I think we need like this personal best record trophy that we just have everybody sign.
I think I need to get my jump skis. This thing's looking just awesome out there. And Tobias Georgius with a huge personal best. But right now on the water from Austria, Luca Rockenwald looking to see what he can do in the final round. Conditions could not be better. And here he comes, jump number 1.
Yeah, the sun is out. Good cut here. Strong approach for Luca. And just didn't look quite comfortable coming off the top of the ramp there on jump number 1. I thought his approach out of the turn looked pretty good. We'll take a look at replay and see exactly what happened.
So had a nice glide here. He's a little bit earlier than we saw from Tobias. Let's see if that's what played into count here into the ramp. And looking pretty good, but you can see into the ramp, setting that right ski down, the spray not coming as strong off his right ski anymore, and really not able to drive through the ramp. So 52.7 meters, but as we break that down, the main issue there is going to be he needs to bring it down the lake. He was just too early on that one, not able to get that good drive into the ramp that we just saw from Tobias Georgius' last jump that led to that massive distance. So Luca's going to look to bring it down the lake a little bit more, aim a little bit closer to that bottom right-hand corner of the ramp, so he really has to work to exit at that top left.
All right, so Luca, 52.7 meters there on jump number 1. Yeah, the personal bests have just been going down. And you take a look at the list, obviously, and the momentum coming out of the trick event later on this, it's like they're going to go all out. I mean, you just get that feeling. The momentum is rolling in everybody's favor. Luca Rockenwald, jump number 2, looking to put together a jump to overtake Tobias Georgius. Jump number 2 for Luca. Oh, look at that extension.
That's a huge jump for him. You can see he throws the fist there. That was exactly the jump he was looking for. So let's watch the replay here. We're going to see him pass that nautique buoy a little bit further. And there you go, that patient turn, and he's set in, and he's accelerating right out of that turn. And let's see where he hits the ramp. A little bit at the middle of the ramp, but still had enough room to drive over. I got it up and over those skis. But the thing that replay just told me is as far as that jump was, he's still got more.
Absolutely. He was right there. 58.6 meters there for Luca Rockenwald. Wow. I mean, bringing it down the lake, putting it up. You could see the trajectory of that jump. It was like he got another 5-10 feet out of the pinnacle and was just able to press over the tops of the skis. 58.6 meters. So that's going to boost him into the first spot, eclipsing Tobias Georgia's 57.6. So, wow.
And we saw that float that Luca got there. You could start to see his skis get a little bit of a flutter in the air. Reason for that, the wind has started to pick up. And it's picking up in exactly the way we had hoped for. That headwind is increased from that 5 to maybe a 10 to 15 kilometer an hour wind. And right now, if I could have ordered the weather, I could not have picked more perfect conditions for huge jumps. And Luca Rockenwald on jump number 2, using the conditions to his advantage. He looks later on jump number 3, but not able to get his lift. You could see that frustration there. He knew he had the speed on that one, just not able to get his lift, but still a great effort on jump number 2 for him. 58-meter jump for him is going to put him into the lead. And again, we look, that's going to start pressuring the later jumpers. And really only the top 5 guys exceeded a score farther than that. So as all these guys sitting on the dock, they're learning a few things. Number 1, the conditions are great. They're looking at it. They're seeing what distances are going down already. And they're knowing, hey, it's possible. And the other thing is the pressure's now starting to get on. The possibility of having that first jump as a warm-up jump starts to diminish. You want to give yourself that best opportunity, and sometimes if you go out there nice and easy on jump number 1, try and get it together on jump number 2, you almost feel like you need that 4th jump, and that first one was a little bit of a waste. These guys already went out there this morning. They've already felt the lake, the ramp, the boat. They know the conditions. The wind's a little bit stronger, but I'm going to be looking to see these guys attack right from jump number 1, give themselves 3 attempts to put a jump well into the 60-meter mark. And, looking at the field to come, it's going to take a jump 63, 62 meters to be on that podium. And if these conditions continue to be like this, we could see an even higher cut to be on the podium. But right now, we already saw him out on the trick ski. Now out on the jump skis, we have Lindsay Bourdier of France qualifying for this final with a 55.5 meter, 182-foot jump.
Well, and you take a look at Lindsay coming into the jump event, a little bit of chance for redemption, went down early in the trick event, and that's kind of the cool thing about being an overall skier is, hey, look, I'll just bounce back. Of course, you're looking to accumulate that overall score, but having the opportunity to get back on the water in the same day and come into the jump event where sometime it is just a good event to get all your frustration out, right?
I was just thinking the same thing. If there was ever an event to immediately follow, a disappointing trick performance, you're going to want it to be the jump event.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So let's see if Lindsay can use that motivation to fuel himself here. He's going to need to jump 58.6 meters to take the lead from Luca Rockenwald. Let's see what he can do around the 600-foot buoy, so an aggressive start.
And you can just hear that Nautique ramp up speed as he crosses the wake here on jump number 1. Lindsay coming in. Oh, connects. That's a good opening jump.
And you can see him throwing the fist, and you can see that headwind keeping them up in the air. No, we didn't see that float earlier on in the day, and, that's what we talked about. Lindsay put himself, he attacked. That's the latest turn we've seen so far, right on jump number 1 from any one of the guys off the dock so far. Full commitment, you can see right on that bottom right-hand corner. Full commitment all the way to the top left, leaning out over those skis, and that absolutely perfect headwind, just helping him milk out every single inch of that distance. And I think that's going to challenge Luca Rockenwald, just waiting on the score. But a great jump for Lindsay Bourdier.
Wow. I mean, 58.8.
So all the way, jump number 1 takes the lead, 58.8. Luca Rockenwald, 58.6. And again, coming into this event, Lindsay qualified with a 55.6 meters. So we're already seeing these guys huge improvements over the first round. And I'm thinking the conditions have something to do with it. But I also think we were talking about the conditions playing in that first round. If they had practiced in that tailwind and probably came out a little hesitant, cutting a little bit early because of that experience in the tailwind. And after that first round, kind of giving their heads a shake, saying, hey, guys, you know what? It's perfect out here. We can be aggressive. And Lindsay, right off the bat, nice and aggressive, putting a big score out there. And now he's got 2 more jumps to get over that 60-meter mark and really put the pressure on.
All right, here he goes. Oh, this is another late approach. He is really late, and that's too late. Right there, probably making the wise decision. You can see where those Nautique buoys were there. He brought it down probably another 5 feet.
And if we look at that jump before, he didn't really have that 5 feet to bring it down. He was right on the corner on the one before, and looks like about a similar turn. So right as he came through the wakes there, you can see him letting go of the handle, just looking at a little bit too much of the white side of that ramp as opposed to the red, and making a good choice to let go and ski around. And he's still got 1 more jump left.
The irony of cutting later is that you're out there, you're sitting by the boat, you're trying to bring it down the lake, and the fear factor starts to kick in, and you begin to rush the turn, and you don't get that right ski all the way around, which the irony of that is if you don't get the right ski around, you're even going to be later. And so, yeah, it's that combination of just finding how to stay patient out there, how to keep that ski speed up, and then letting that right ski come all the way around and set so you can hold a tremendous angle into the base of the ramp.
Yeah, jumpers become very, very good at ignoring that little voice in the back of your head that's telling you, hey, you need to go. So when you're looking at the white part of the ramp, your body's saying, hey, I need to get going to the ramp right now, and that's where you said you rush the turn and don't get everything around, which ultimately makes things worse. And you need to literally cut that out of your mind and literally throw self-preservation to the wind and say, hey, no, I don't got to go. I have to be patient, let this right ski come around, and then I got to go.
Yep, absolutely.
So Lindsay, still possible to make it from there if he's going to want to challenge our leaders and put a jump well into the 60-meter mark. That's the spot he's going to be need to be at, and just like you said, let everything come around the turn a little bit better, hold a little bit more angle on that second side, and we could see our first guy into 60 meters of the day.
Yeah, it's definitely within his capability. Here we go, rocking and rolling, jump number 3. Looks like those skis split on that one, so jump number 1 is going to be the best jump of the round, the 58.8 meters. Take a look at this, and Stevie, it just looked like he couldn't quite hold the body position all the way through the cut of the ramp.
Yeah, so let's just see as he comes through the wakes here. Yeah, you can just see his right ski's still that little bit behind him, and I think being that little bit late and rushing that turn, he's just not getting that right ski all the way around, and he's that little bit open to the boat. That right ski just sticking a little bit behind the left, and you can see when he hits that 5.5-foot ramp, we just see him lose it a little bit. And that can happen sometimes. If you go out there and nail your first jump, you sort of get overexcited. Say, hey, it's really good here. This is my personal best. I'm going to charge it. And I think we saw Lindsay do that a little bit, which always a good thing. I'm always going to applaud a jumper who goes out there and attacks. And he attacked on jump number 1. He got that big score there. And what I liked about it is he didn't then take the foot off the pedal. He sort of hammered it down, and that will still be his first jump of the set. But a great set from him and our current leader at 58.8 meters.
All right, so our next skier out on the water, Ethan McKinnon. And the 4th spot here in this pack of 12 in the final round. And 55.7 meters in that first round. So he is, like you say, these skiers, you take a look at the leaderboard, 58, 58, 57. He is really going to have to turn on the jets here to keep up with the pack. But like you say, the conditions, much the same as what we've seen earlier in the day, now in the afternoon. This is their second look at the jump ramp, and we're starting to see the dividends pay off of getting out on the lake multiple times, getting that experience under their belt. So here comes Ethan on jump number 1. And you wonder if they take a look at the other jumpers just to see how many are circling as close as everybody to the 600-foot buoy. Because from the preliminary round, they are starting to creep up on that 600-foot buoy a little bit more each time. And Ethan McKinnon coming in, jump number 1, up over. Oh, and a beautiful jump on jump number 1. So, man, we're seeing almost every jumper land with the iron fist, pumping it this way, that way. And they're coming out on jump number 1, and they're charging it.
And this is what I'm used to seeing here at Shalom Park, is just guys throwing the fist, super happy. As we said, everything absolutely perfect. And literally, we could not have ordered this wind any more perfect. You can see here, Ethan just in great position, perfect entry to the ramp, came in just on time, took off right in the right spot, and you can see here from the back, you really start to see the float these skiers getting up over their skis, creating that airplane wing and floating as long over the water as they can. Sort of a great shot there, and 57.5 meter opening jump. So another guy who has way exceeded his qualifying jump of 55.7 meters. So, the guys on the dock just, licking their lips and just kind of biting to get out there. They know things are absolutely perfect, and they're going to be looking to to get some of that.
So Ethan, 57.5 meters on jump number 1. And wow, I mean, just like you said, the entry and the work from the second wake onto the ramp, textbook right there for Ethan McKinnon. He's going to get another shot here on jump number 2. See if he can get a similar approach off the second wake. And here he goes. Looks like he drifted back a little bit in the turn. And another good float, another good lift, but I don't think he quite got the speed just because he drifted back a little bit in the turn there.
Yeah, he looked a little bit early at the 600-foot buoy, and I noticed there didn't quite take as strong of a countercut. So that's often a factor in using that 600-foot buoy as a timing measure. Your countercut needs to remain the same, or that sort of timing isn't as crucial. And we can see there he was definitely earlier on the ramp. He came off a little bit too much on the left-hand side, and that's what cost him some distance. But I can see why he would have thrown the fist there on jump number 1. Coming into this event, personal best, 56.6 meters. So another young man with a personal best, and this literally is the way the Canadian Open goes year after year after year. Is you start listing personal bests, you got new personal bests. And that's sort of where that nickname came from, of the home of the personal best. Is so many people, when you look at their bio and you look at personal best, lake it was recorded at, so many people list Shalom Park.
Wow. Well, so just going to kind of throw jump number 2 out the window a little bit. And still looking at the distances here as we look at it. That one, although it looked like he drifted back, we're showing a 57.8, so we're going to have to make sure that's confirmation. That may have been one of those deceptive jumps, but Ethan coming in on jump number 3, and he's going to throw that one out. But let's take a look at that jump number 2, and that happens from time to time. You know, you take a look at the, well, maybe you drift back, maybe you didn't have the speed, but we will wait for the final result there to come in and give you a final distance on Ethan's longest jump. So we'll get geared up and ready as we look for confirmation on those last couple of jumps.
So it does appear 57.8 is his farthest of the set, so does move him into that 3rd place position. So I think that's the first time today you and I have been wrong.
We've done pretty good up until this point. You know,
not everyone's perfect.
Whenever you do announcer's math or you start doing announcing distancing, you always run a risk, right? And that time, jump number 2 was further for Ethan, 57.8 meters. That's going to slide him into the 3rd spot.
And we move now to Canada in Thomas Daigle, a young man who's just had an excellent tournament, qualifying for all 3 finals. Went down a little bit earlier than he'd hoped today in the trick finals, but as we'd mentioned, he'd already had a pretty massive trick personal best as well as a slalom personal best. The only personal best he has not achieved so far here at the Under-21 World Championships is a jump personal best.
Okay.
And knowing this young man, this is his favorite event. This is his strongest event, and he has the potential here to put a jump out way past his seed score and to really surprise some of these later seeds. Very athletic young man. Mentioned that he competes not only in all 3 events in water skiing, but spends 8 months of the year alpine racing at Clarkson University as a very competitive and high-level alpine racer as well. So I believe he's been down in Florida for a little bit over 6 weeks to train for this event, but already in peak form, and he's going to be looking to improve on that preliminary jump score, and he's going to need to if he wants to start challenging the leader currently, Lindsay Bourget, 58.8 meters. Let's see what Tom can do on jump number 1.
All right, here goes Thomas. Oh, yeah, look at that cut. A lot of rotation back up under those skis and a good float time. Wow. You know, you talk about the strength of a skier. He comes down with some authority and sticks that landing, but this turn right here, Stevie, full extended arm and then just kind of whips those skis back underneath him. big extension there from Thomas.
57.3 meters for him. So 57.3, and coming into this, 56.3 meters, 185 feet. So I do believe that is Thomas's new personal best in the jump event. So 3 events, 3 personal bests. This young man could not ask for a better tournament, and he still has 2 more jumps left, and I know he has a lot more in him. He's going to need to bring it down the lake. He's going to need to be more aggressive, but he has the strength, he has the athleticism and the ability. Just a matter of whether he does it or not.
And you talked about it. I mean, competing off the water, snow skiing on basically the water skiing off season, right? But 6 weeks to prepare for a tournament like this, and now skiing at a level where he's been at all week long at this tournament and knocking down personal best is really a testament of his athletic ability and able to find his rhythm under a very short time frame out there. And yeah, this is aggressive. I mean, you take a look at the approach off the 600, but how hard he cuts out there by the driver. Here he goes, jump number 2. Look at that ski, raises it. Whoa! Gets a little tipsy, goes to the pinnacle, and he knows that he probably got away with one on that one.
That is a bad habit Thomas has of as soon as he feels a good jump, he feels that pressure under his skis. He wants to get right over top of him to milk every bit of that distance, and sometimes does it a little bit early, as you saw there, getting all of that kick, and then you see there just pushing those tips almost a little bit too far, and lucky he has the balance he does that he was able to come back from that, but that did cost him some distance, unfortunately. So had a great extension off the ramp, but you still need to hold yourself balanced in the air to milk that distance. And anytime you get too far over your toes like that, you're going to lose that wing position and come down. So we can see here Tom just a little eager to get over those skis, having to back off at the last minute.
Yeah,
54 meters for him.
It's like that position. As long as you can stay at least parallel, you can come back up. And he got lucky that time that he didn't go a little bit negative. You go a little bit negative, especially with both skis, it's kind of like there's the point of no return. But I'm sure he's going to make a few adjustments here on jump number 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Cole Grant down on shore coaching him and coaching Team Canada all weekend long, and recently been down at Jack Travers Ski School, driving and working down there, skiing with the whole crew down there, and learning from them. So he's got one more jump left. Let's see what he can do. Can he push the leaders?
Wow.
I think he just did. I think that's going to be a great jump right in that 58, 59 meter mark. And that young man is going to go home so happy. Great tournament for him. All 3 events, 3 personal bests down, peaking at the World Championships. 57.7 meters on jump number 3. So 57.7. So it does move him into 4th place, just behind Ethan McKinnon. But great jumping from Thomas Daigle of Canada.
Tremendous round of jumping right there. So we're starting to get into the thick of it. We're right in the middle of the pack. Benjamin Lutz about ready to get geared up and take to the water. Current lead, Lindsay Bordier at the 58.8 meters. Again, 12 people here in the final. We're into the 6th seed. And we've kind of gotten to that threshold here, Stevie, where you're under an hour or about an hour of time. We'll have a world champion on our hands. And it's going to get very, very interesting. Some big momentum coming into this event and the trick event and also the personal bests that have been going down thus far. Really anything can happen.
Absolutely. And so we go from Canada to the United States in Benjamin Lutz.
So Benjamin taken to the water, jump number 1. And I think you're right. I think these skiers are all in a position at this point in the game of getting a picture of the site earlier this morning where they're just attacking on jump number 1. That looks like everybody's game plan is just, I know exactly where I turned to get into this this final round, and maybe I'll start with a few adjustments from where I turned to get into the round, but I'm going to hold nothing back on jump number 1.
Absolutely, and one of the favorites coming into this event, Ben Lutz, personal best 62 meters, and really has one of the best kicks off the ramp I've ever seen. Just a really explosive, fast kick off the ramp, and little bit early on in the earlier rounds, had some solid jumps, but not able to put one together. But if he puts one together here, he is going to put the pressure on for the remaining guys. Benjamin Lutz of the United States.
All right, so jump number 1. Oh, and he takes that one downtown. Wow. Look at the explosion. You touched on it, but there, jump number 1 connects, and no body movement off the top, all explosion. He is digging into the base of the ramp and then just uncorks off the top.
You can see how straight his body was off the top, absolutely launching off the top, 61.3 meters. So that is our new leader, and that is going to be the benchmark.
So he is right behind that tournament best of 62 meters, so he is knocking on the door. Well, he's just saving it for the finals. That's all that was in the preliminary.
Absolutely, and you really see List here as his Waterski idol of Freddy Krueger, and really has that Freddy Krueger-esque kick off the top of the ramp. Freddy sort of known for going higher than everybody else, and you could just see from Ben that full commitment. And as I watched on the replay, the other thing of note as we had that view facing as he was jumping towards us, if you saw the spray coming off that right ski into the bottom of the ramp, you could actually see that spray from behind the ramp, meaning the spray coming off of his ski in excess of 5.5 feet off the water, just showing you how hard he's digging coming into the bottom of that ramp and loading himself up for that big explosion. But 61.3, he's our leader with 2 jumps left.
All right, so Benjamin Lutz getting set and ready. Jump number 2, another strong cut, another big explosion. Man, I may have to go dust off my skis after this. This looks like a whole lot of fun. Ben Lutz putting on a show here of just how to have the technique off the top of the ramp and get that float time. You see, just a little bit early there, coming off the left side of the ramp. But still, like you say, the air form is incredible.
Yeah, and he has a really interesting style that I'm starting to note. He sort of looks very similar to a Freddy Krueger coming out of the turn, the way he sort of rolls his body over into that position he gets into. But characteristically, we see Freddy jumping those wakes, landing down on the other side, and that's sort of usually a big sign that Freddy's on the water when you see that. But Ben looking sort of similar to Freddy as he comes into that first wake, but then using more of a Ryan Dodd approach going through the wakes and through the second side. So really a very neat amalgamation of those two styles. And I mean, if you're going to model yourself after 2 guys,
those are the guys.
Those are the 2 guys, Freddy Krueger and Ryan Dodd.
No question about it. Ben Lutz getting ready for jump number 3. He knows his personal best is well within reach here of 62 meters, and it's just about finding that spot on the lake where he has just enough speed to put it together with these 2 kicks that he's gotten in this round. A lot of speed there, and again, wow. He may have been a little frustrated there, but that round of jumping right there is so consistent, and the air form just picturesque off the top of that jump ramp. And you take a look at the cut right there, and still probably want to be a little bit later into the base of the ramp. You can see kind of even sucking the handle through the flight.
Yeah, it looked to be hanging on with 2 hands a little bit long there. I'm not sure if that's what twisted him into the boat there, and he lost some distance there, but looked great coming off the ramp, had all of that float, and you could just see that slight twist in the air, had him land a little bit sooner than I had anticipated. .59.8 on jump number 3, so really an excellent set for him, really consistent jumping, and put a big jump out there, 61.3 meters, and that now puts the pressure on for the 6 guys left on the dock. And right now on the water, Robert Hazelwood, Came into this event 58.6 meters, so he's going to need to improve on that if he's going to be on the podium. And again, Rob, one of those guys in the hunt for that podium spot in jump. And as well, he is currently in that hunt in the overall battle as well, battling it out with the two Ukrainians. And I know, looking at this score of 58.6 meters, he can improve on that. And right here is going to be his biggest opportunity to gain those overall points.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, in that overall race, if you wanted an event to be last, you would want jump to be the last event. And that is what it is here this afternoon, really leading up to the slalom event. But as far as an event where you can really gain ground, this is the event, and that's why traditionally that we always kind of see it. You know, the weather's kind of been shifting around here this weekend, but you always traditionally see it towards the end, just because in the overall race, historically, you know, it does come down to personal best in jump that really make the difference. And Robert Hazelwood right now from Great Britain, he is dropped into a pretty massive cut on jump number 1 and explodes off the top, and that's a solid opening attempt.
So we're going to go down to Jarrett Llewellyn on the dock for an interview.
3, 2, 1, turn.
Thomas, PB
Yeah.
at the under 21s. That's pretty good. Home soil.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, so far it's been a great event. So, yeah, super stoked to get a PB here, but I always want a little more.
And you made the final in tricks?
Yeah, made the finals in all 3 events. That was unexpected. I was mostly going for jumps, so yeah, I'm super happy to do that, and especially here in Canada, it's an honor.
Yeah, and the team, I mean, the Canadians got a ton of.
Yeah, no, we have a super strong team. It's cool to have the support from the teammates. Everyone's been skiing great, and including myself, thankfully, so I can't blame that. And no, it's been really good so far. Every country has been skiing great, and it's a great event.
Okay, awesome. Great skiing, and where do you go next?
Slalom tomorrow, and then
Yep.
and then rest for the winter.
Okay, and you're a snow skier.
Yeah, snow skiing is coming up, so I'll have to start getting ready for that.
Yeah, okay, all right,
Start
good.
working out.
Really, congrats. Good skiing
Yeah.
all weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
And we are back. Jump number 2, Rob Hazelwood on the water. Currently sitting in 4th in overall. Little bit of a crush on jump number 2, and you could see that was the setup he wanted. You could see that frustration, and usually when you see that little fist swing when a jumper lands, it usually means that was the setup they wanted. They felt like they had the speed and just not able to kick the ramp, but knowing he put himself in that position, knows he's got his timing, he's got his spot, and gonna go in the same place and see if he can just get his kick. And we can see there just falling away from that right ski, and right ski sliding out ever so slightly. And we talked about that sometimes being a result of rushing the turn. So Rob going to be looking to be a little bit more patient in the turn, make sure he gets that right ski all the way through so he can kick that jump. But he had a ton of speed on that one, and you could see that he knew if he gets a hold of that, not only is that going to put him in the contention here in the jump event, but what he's really going for here is that overall title. And sitting a little bit behind the 8 ball coming into this event, he is in 4th place with those incredible performances we've seen from the Ukrainians, Alexander Sameloff and Danielo Fesenko. But Rob having that ability to improve here on his preliminary jump score of 58.6 meters, these are going to be those crucial meters, these crucial overall points that he needs to catch those guys. And as well, if he puts one out there, he knows he could be sitting in a place for a podium. So right now, 59.3 meters for him, 1 jump left.
All right, Robert Hazelwood. Let's see what he can do. Put it together on jump number 3. Oh, strong load out of the turn there. Up, over, and a solid attempt. And look at that. Double fist pump. Along with the personal best trophy and world records, we need a fist pump. How many pictures do we capture with the fist pump on the landing? Robert Hazelwood. Wow.
So again, significant in not only the jump event, but the overall event as well.
That is just great float time right over the top of his skis. Where's this one going to end up? He's out there with a 59.3.
Which, as we mentioned, already an improvement over his preliminary score. So he's gained some overall points on the Ukrainians. But with that fist throw, I think that's going to be his third one's the farthest of the set. And just eyes on that scoreboard for the distance. Looks to be 58.9 meters. 58.9 meters.
So, you know, he probably, one of those jumps really felt like he connected well, got good pull, but something about that first jump, maybe just a little bit more speed. It's hard to tell. Sometimes, you know, I've had those jumps too where it's like, that's it. And then it's like a jump that didn't feel like it. It's just more speed, you know, just taking it down the lake a little bit more. So, with that said, Quinn Haines now taken to the water from the USA.
And our leaderboard current United States, Benjamin Lutz, 61.3 meters. He is in the lead. We just saw Rob Hazelwood put out a 59.3 meter opening jump. That's going to sit him in second place. And France's Lindsay Bourgier, 58.8 meters, currently sitting in third. 5 jumpers left to go on the water right now. Quinn Haines going to be looking to take the lead from fellow teammate Benjamin Lutz. But more importantly, going to be looking to put the pressure on the likes of Alexander Sameloff, Danilo Fesenko, Carlo Basic, and Joel Pollan.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Quinn Haines, like you say, very strong skier. Really can charge the ramp with a lot of power. Let's see where he ends up on jump number 1. Look at the power. I mean, all sorts of spray coming off that right ski out of the finish of the turn. A lot of pressure. Here's going to be a great shot of that right ski. The load he puts onto that and really charges the ramp all the way through this cut.
And I don't know if you noticed how far past that nautique buoy he waited to turn there, but that was a late cut. And we saw, and we talked about earlier, how strong he is. You get a shot of there in the air, you can see how big his legs are. He is just a very stocky guy and is able to hold on to that load out of the turn, basically the latest cut of the day, and still got to the ramp fairly early. And if he can kick with all of that speed, you almost saw when he landed, he shot ahead of the boat, had all the speed, not any of the lift, and if he can kick that one, I think we're going to be seeing a jump well into 60 meters. Could even be a 64 meter jump. And I think a jump in that 64, 65 meter range is what it's going to take to win this championship today.
Wait, to your point, maybe that was the reason that we saw so much pressure on that right ski. He was well past that second nautique buoy. And a late cut from Quinn Haines on jump number 1. Here we go, jump number 2. The cut and the speed is there. That is definitely not at issue. It's just about getting all of that speed under control into the base of the ramp. Quinn Haines and his approach here on jump number 2. Now watch this power. Here we go. A lot of power, a lot of speed. And we'll have to see where that one ends up, but it looks like now just sitting a little bit back. I mean, he is so far down the lake. I mean, he is easily 10 feet further than we've seen this whole competition.
And as we see there, still is the latest cut of the tournament, he's arriving to the ramp a little bit early on that one. So, very aggressive, and I think likely taking off a bit more than he needs out of the turn. It's a late cut, but as he is so strong, he needs to let those skis come around that last little bit, be a little bit more patient so that he can allow himself to be in a better position before he drops the hammer, before he starts to use that power. And that's that combination that Ryan Dodd has down pat. He's got the power, he's got the explosiveness, and he's married it with this perfect technique where he's so patient around the turn, he lets everything come around before he starts to muscle it through. And if you muscle it too early, it's just not going to work. You're not going to be in that position to utilize all that speed, and that's what's happening right now to Quinn Haines. So if he can make that adjustment, he can turn from that point. We've seen that on the first 2 jumps. He doesn't need to back it up. He just needs to be a little bit more patient, get everything around, get into a strong position, and he could be challenging for the lead.
All right, so Quinn Haines looking to make some adjustments on this third and final approach into the ramp. Just needs to get his lift. There's a softer turn right there, so building it into the base of the ramp, and there's a big kick for Quinn Haines. And I think you two were on the same page there. He definitely made some adjustments out of the finish of the turn. Didn't go quite as hard, and maybe had a little bit more in the tank as he got into the second wake here.
I was thinking the same thing as you as I was watching him go through that turn. I said, can he hear me out there? Because that's exactly what he did there, and that was a really great jump from him. And you can see just in letting those skis come around that last little bit, he was able to hold that strong position through the ramp and get a bit more lift. I'm not sure if it equaled more distance. Right now, the 60.2 jump number 1 is his farthest of the set, and we will wait to see distance on jump number 3. 59.6 meters on jump number 3. So again, it's that give and take and jump where he backed it up possibly a little bit. He was more patient in that turn and didn't quite have the speed. He got more lift, he got more kick out of it, but didn't have that speed he had in jump number 1. And that's really that balancing act that you're playing, is how late can you leave it to turn and still get locked into a good enough position, because you need both. Are so critical if you're going to win this competition. And the guy who wins this isn't going to do it with just speed, and he isn't going to do it with just lift. He's going to need both. Absolutely.
It's all about that combination. And we are into our top 4 seeds. So it is really into the thick of it. And I believe we've got some representation out of the Ukraine once again on the water.
Well, if the first round is any indication, this young man came out and improved by 5 meters on his personal best in the preliminary round to earn himself a spot here in the finals with a 61.3 meter jump. That is equal to the distance right now of our current leader, Benjamin Lutz, but I really don't know what to expect out of these Ukrainian skiers anymore. For all I know, we could see another 5 meters out of Alexander Sameloff.
Alexander Sameloff putting together some massive performances here. And I'm right with you. I'm kind of on the edge of my seat because I don't know what to expect anymore. Just when you think you've seen it all, you haven't. And here we are in the finals here. Number 4 seed. Alexander coming in, jump number 1, strong load into the base of the ramp. And a good, solid jump number 1.
He's going to be right in the mix there in jump number 1. I think we're going to see that in the high 50, 58, 59 meter range. I don't think it's quite enough to take the lead in the 60 meter range.
Yeah, very patient out of the turn right there, though. Waiting to build and leverage himself into the base of the ramp.
59.1 meter opening jump for him. So prior to this tournament, that would have been a 4 meter personal best. So a great opening jump for him. But, you know, that jump there just shows me he does have more than even that 61.3 that we saw in the preliminary round.
Yeah, it's like coming in, you're looking at his personal best, and like really that jump right there, if it would have happened in the preliminary, we would have been super, super excited for him. But then he goes, 5 meters past his personal best in the preliminary. So anything can happen. Certainly, we know that he has the ability to go well beyond that, if not further. So let's see where the adjustments take place here on jump number 2. Alexander Sameloff, jump number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, he is out wide, and he is dropped in. Oh, a lot of speed here. And another great kick there. It looked like he left a little bit back on the ramp, but you can see he's got a lot to work from because he's really learning that combination you're talking about as where do I exactly lay and drop the hammer down, and he is accelerating as he goes into the ramp.
Yeah, you could just see he had that that leading shoulder, his left shoulder, just leaning a little bit into the ramp there, not able to get his kick, sort of having that little bit of an upper body crush. So if he's able to keep that back straight, keep his posture all the way through the ramp, I mean, who knows how far he can go, because coming into the ramp with just heaps of speed, and even with that upper body crush, 58.7 meters.
Yeah, yeah.
Important to note as well, he is currently sitting in third place in that overall battle that he's having with Rob Hazelwood. So Rob Hazelwood still sitting in fourth with only about 50 overall points between them. So a very, very small margin between them. And we still are going to get a chance to see Rob out on the slalom ski tomorrow with a chance to improve on his score, coming in 5.5 at 10.75 meters. So to feel safe, Alex is going to want to add a little bit more to that jump just to sneak a little bit more ahead of Rob to put that pressure on if he wants to really cement his place on the podium here in overall.
All right, Alexander, jump number 3. Looking to put one final jump together here this afternoon, and whoa! Decides to pass there. Somehow got pulled very far forward on the tips of the skis across the wakes here. And makes the wise choice to let that one go.
Well, I think he now has the distinction for the latest turn so far in this competition, and Quinn Haines was bringing it pretty down the lake, but that was a little bit too much.
That was a little too much, but sending the heat into the jump on jump number 3, certainly respectable, as he's going to walk that one back to the dock, and that means we are in our top 3 seeds. And this next young man, you know, we're going to have to continue to hit on it because it was such a big jump earlier this season. I mean, nearly getting out there into that 70-meter range almost at 5.5 feet is just something that, you know, very, very few people have ever been able to accomplish. And we're talking about Daniela Filchenko's jump back at the last chance qualifier down at Jack Travers Ski School. And then, you know, just when we're talking about that all this morning, he comes back and tricks 11,520 points for a new record tournament. I mean, just truly amazing what he's been able to do here in 2019.
Absolutely, and it'd be easy to look back on that 69-meter jump and kind of rule it as a fluke. His personal best at the time, right around 60 meters, and to make that jump from 60 to 69 meters. But he came out here with a jump of 64 meters, sort of showing that's really the territory he's been in practice. And I know he was injured last year and hasn't posted a lot of scores, which is why we saw him competing a little bit earlier on in some of the series. But that's sort of at that level that I think this young man is in that 64 to 69 meter range. And I just think he never had the chance to show anybody in a competition, and he did achieve the top seed in this event on the 5.5 foot ramp, so he's not going out last, but the only reason for that is our last 2 competitors are jumping at a higher ramp height.
Absolutely. Daniela Filchenko, all eyes on the water as Filchenko's first attempt at that jump ramp. Look at this approach. Talk about a gradual progression into the base of the ramp. Wow. Daniela Filchenko. I mean, that load he's got and that drive into the base of the ramp with the combination of his lift, you can tell he ends up in the right spot on the lake. It's going to be big.
Yeah, absolutely. You could just see how much float he gets, and he just loads that rope perfectly. You could see that hardest drive right at the bottom of the ramp. If you're looking at the spray on the replay coming off of that ski, you can just see the biggest spray right at the bottom, and that's where you get all that load. That's where you get that slingshotting effect in 61.0 meters on jump number 1. So still behind Benjamin Lutz with 61.3 meters. And if Daniello does want to cement his spot on the podium, he will need to exceed that score of Benjamin Lutz if he wants to guarantee a podium spot, knowing that there's still 2 jumpers left on the dock. But a 61-meter opening jump, super impressive and looked easy.
Well, I got to tell you, his balance coming into the first wake where he's basically only on his right ski, right? I mean, he is so balanced, he is so leveraged, that when he hits the ramp, he's completely loaded through his lower body, and it just shoots him straight up in the air. This is really just a formula for Filchenko at this point that comes down to speed. He just needs more speed. That's all he needs. Daniela Filchenko, jump number 2, and he is up and over. Gets kind of pulled out of position there. So I don't know if that is going to be enough to secure him a podium spot. It may come down to jump number 3.
And as we watch here, he was way later in this jump, probably a good 10 feet later on his turn, and had a lot more speed, but right on the corner, and you can just see giving into the boat that little bit. You can see that slight twist into the boat off the ramp, and those skis not able to stay in that steady position that really milks all that speed and height over. But you know what? 61.7 meters on jump number 2, so he does take the lead from Benjamin Lutz. He does guarantee himself a slot on the podium, but I don't think he's looking for just a spot on the podium. I think he's looking to be on top of the podium, and he's got one more jump left, and already the lead, despite the fact that he came off the ramp a little bit squirrely, wasn't in the greatest position in the air. So if he can correct those two things, you know, we could be seeing him put a jump in that 69-meter territory. And if he does that, that is going to completely blow open this overall competition. Right now, looking like Joel Pollan running away with it a little bit, but a jump that far down 60 meters really could make that distance up and make things really, really interesting in the overall.
All right, so here it is, Daniela Filchenko, jump number 3, boiling down to this one. Not only about the jump podium, but also about the overall. Daniela Filchenko locked and loaded here, and he is into his cut and final approach into the ramp.
Wow!
Oh, can he hang on?
What a recovery. Almost lost it. I think that will be his biggest of the set, so that would have been absolutely devastating had he lost it. But let's have a look at the replay here. Did not back it up from jump number 2. Super aggressive out of the turn here. You can see him loading.
Look at, I mean, as he goes up, he wants each inch, centimeter, whatever it takes, and almost presses the ejection button.
If it wasn't for the rocker and those jump skis, he would have caught the tip. That was so impressive. It looks like 61.9 meters on jump number 3. So his farthest of the set. That now is the mark these next two jumpers are going to have to beat if they want to go home as the men's under 21 jump champion. So we will just have a brief technical hold while we raise that ramp from 5.5 to 6 feet. And, you know, super impressive to note here as we look that our first 10 jumpers who qualified here all did so at the 5.5-foot ramp and really put scores in here. I mean, if you Daniela Filchenko, our top-seeded skier right now at the 5.5-foot ramp, just so impressive. Such an impressive display of talent here, and just imagine once those guys do make that step up to that 6-foot ramp height, how far those distances are going to be in years to come.
Absolutely. So we're going to get into our last two skiers of the day and raise that ramp up to 6 feet, and wow.
Yeah, and the guy looking on right now is going to be Benjamin Lutz. He put that big jump out there, 61.3 meters, and as we look at the qualifying scores of Carlo Basic and Joe Pollan, 59.6 meters and 61.1 meters respectively, and that's not going to do it for either one of them. So either one of them not exceeding that 61.3 meter score is going to put Benjamin Lutz onto the podium. So he's put himself in a really great position, and really just behind him, Quinn Haines with that 60.2. Anytime you put a jump in the 60-meter range at the Under 21 World Championships, you know you're going to be in the hunt for the medal, and those guys have sort of done all they can do and put out those huge jumps and put the pressure on these remaining two skiers back on the dock in Carlo Basic and Joe Pollan. You know, both these jumpers capable of going that far, have gone that far in the past, but it's all about today. It's all about getting it done on the day, and conditions couldn't be better. We've seen personal bests go down all day long here.
And what a day it's been. I mean, here we are, 6 p.m. This is prime time. So the earlier when I was telling you, hey, look, you know, I wasn't a guy that liked to get out there early in the morning and jump. Now, if you were to pick a time we're starting to get into that prime hour, right? It's nice and cool. The weather, the conditions are all good. Everybody's waiting for the top seed. This is truly the time to shine, and this is a jumper's dream right now, as that we're kind of in that hour that all the jumpers look forward to.
And as we go into these last two jumpers, there's another developing story that we're going to be following in this overall competition, and it comes down to another one of those tournament records. As I look in the record book here, as we look all the way back to 2003 and the great Jimmy Seamers, and in 2003, I believe, is the year he broke the world overall open record. Jimmy Seamers set the under-21 men's overall tournament record with an overall score of 7,336 points. Now, as I pull up the overall rankings as we sit going into this event, Joel Pollan is currently sitting with 2,871 overall points. If he's able to hold on to that through the event, that is going to be another one of those records we've seen go down here at the Under-21 Worlds. And I'm starting to lose count, but I believe that's in the neighborhood of 4.
And you'd have to go back to see kind of what the scores were, just out of curiosity of how comparable they were, like where Jimmy's score was. But remember, Joel Pollan, 11,000 points in trick in the final.
Yeah, and we see here during that tournament, we know one of the scores, 69 meters.
Yeah.
So that huge jump right there, but I do know with Joel having that score of 5.5 on 10.75, as talented a slalom skier as Jimmy Seamers is, I don't think he had a slalom score quite that high. So I think sort of the trade-off between that 69-meter jump we're seeing, where we're seeing the balance of that is going to be with Joel in the slalom.
Okay. All right, well, here we go. Top 2 seeds on the water now. Carlo Basic.
And right now, Carlo competing in the overall, sitting in 6th place, just behind Canada's Thomas Daigle. So Thomas is sitting in 5th. And if we look, about 100 points separating the two of them. So Carlo does have the opportunity here to gain some points up on Thomas and move into that top 5 overall position. So jumping, as we said, that event where you can make up the most amount of overall points. We do still have slalom tomorrow. So it's not like after today, this is a done deal. We still have one more event to go through. But sometimes in the catch-up game, the jump is where things happen.
Absolutely. So Carlo Basic, 20 years of age, making his way out onto the jump ramp. You can see, too, the confidence of a guy like Carlo Basic, getting the crowd involved as he leaves the starting dock and he gets ready and set for jump number 1, pulling out. Very strong approach there on the 600-foot buoy. Carlo Basic. And, let's see if he can find his spot out there. Solid performance in the preliminary, but here we are in the final. Carlo Basic. Whoa, look at that extension. Getting up and over those skis.
Putting one out there on jump number 1. That's going to be right around that leader mark. Coming into this event, he lists a personal best of 62 meters, and I think he's going to be right challenging that on jump number 1. Great lift off the top. You saw he had lots of speed and really kind of put it together, and still had lots of room left. Hit kind of on the middle of the ramp, came a little bit more over on the far side. We see 60.6 meter opening jump.
Wow.
So that does move him ahead of Quinn Haines, but still behind Benjamin Lutz and Danielo Flichenko. Danielo sitting 61.9 meters, Benjamin Lutz 61.3.
And Ben Lutz right now really zeroed in on this. I mean, he is looking at each and every jump from Carlo Basic. But Carlo Basic putting one out there on jump number 1, and you're starting to get an idea that he's got a lot to work with here. I mean, it's I wouldn't be surprised if we see another, 5 meters from this guy. I mean, there's plenty left from Carlo Basic. So as that nautique gets straightened out, and we are in the course once again, Carlo Basic jump number 2.
It does come in with that personal best 62 meters, and gonna need all of that here to take the lead from Daniela Flechenko. Let's see what he can do.
Oh, you can just hear that boat roaring into the base of the ramp. Kind of gets rocked back to the side just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll watch on the replay here, but my guess there is Carlo was just pushing it a little on that one. He just wanted it a little bit too bad. You know, he is nice and late here. He did have a patient turn, but as we see on the second side, almost digging a little bit too hard on that right ski. You saw it just shattering a little bit coming into the bottom. Likely just pushing a little bit too hard, and who can blame him? He wants to go out there. He's looking to become the under-21 world champion. He's got one more jump left, and 58.9 meters on that jump. So you saw how much he left on the table there in just that pushing that little bit and not able to get all of his lift. So he's right in the hunt. He's in the spot. He's got the speed. It's just a few body position changes that are gonna be the ticket here if he wants to be the one, calling himself the under 21 world jump champion at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So here he goes. Gonna make some adjustments on jump number 2 there, and come back down the lake one final time. Just a beautiful shot right there at the far end of the lake. I mean, see how green it is here. I mean, everything is so green. I'm told that this area of Canada has gotten more rain than usual this year, so just absolutely gorgeous. Carlo Basic. Jump number 3, digging into the base of the ramp. Oh, strong into the base. Ooh. And levels out there, Stevie. And anytime you see those tips go level, it can go any way.
Absolutely, and he handled it excellently. You kind of saw him releasing that second hand, kind of backing himself off, allowing those tips to come back up in his face. And really all that was there is Carlo just pushing it. He wants to win. He's a competitor, and you could see as soon as he hit the ramp, almost dropping his chest to try and will himself to kick. And we've actually seen Jarrett Llewellyn make that work in the past. And on Jarrett's biggest jump sometimes coming into the bottom, he would just drop that chest, and you'd see it come up, and you knew. Those were those jumps for Jarrett that really took the win. And love to see that from Carlo. I obviously wanted to see a bit of a farther distance from him, 56.6 meters, but absolutely going for it, pushing the envelope on every single jump there, and a great performance from him, moving currently into third place at 60.6 meters, which means with just one jumper left on the dock, Benjamin Lutz and Daniela Flechenko have guaranteed themselves a spot on the finals. So Ben coming out a little bit earlier in the order, didn't get the preliminary round he wanted, but put out that 61.3 meter jump earlier on, and it's held up. Now one jumper left in Joel Pollan left on the dock, and Benjamin Lutz sitting in second place can do no worse than third. Daniela Flechenko, 61.9 meters, but this man right here, already an 11,000 point trick run on the day. He's going to be looking to take home the jump title. He is our overall leader, as we mentioned. That huge dominant overall round he's put up so far, 5.5 at 10.75. 11,030 points in the trick, achieved a score of 61.6 meters in the preliminary round, but I know Joel's capable of distances in excess of 65 meters, and he's going to be looking to push one down the lake. You saw as he went by there, pumping up the crowd, and just a note for everyone on the bank, this young man feeds off your energy. If you make noise, if you get him pumped up here, you're going to be part of this historic victory that you're watching and this potential in the tournament record. So Joel Pollan, 3 jumps left to try and take down Daniela Flechenko's 61.9 meter jump and take home the under-21 world jump title.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, your top seed, Joel Pollan, putting together an unbelievable tournament thus far and now has a chance to go for the top of the podium here in the final event. Joel Pollan, jump number 1. Whoa, look at that.
There
on
you
corks.
go.
Unbelievable.
Right there will be your under-21 men's jump champion, Joel Pollan, adding to that overall score. And I don't know if it was an omen here, but if you saw that bird fly right by him, right as he made that turn, Joel's like, hey, buddy, I'm with you. I'm going flying too, launching himself off that ramp. 65.7 meters, you're under-21. Men's jump champion Joel Pollan setting the world on fire
Wow.
with one of the most impressive overall rounds you will ever see, and there's no need for him to go out again. He pushed that overall score even farther. That is unbelievable skiing for him. Almost 56 meters, getting it done on jump number 1.
Wow. Wow.
Let's
wow.
watch
wow.
that one more time. Let's try and get that replay one more time. This championship winning jump, Joel Pollan. Unreal. Let's watch it from this angle. We're going to see all that height he got, and you can see so aggressive and carrying all this speed into the turn. This is really a textbook jump. You can see that right ski coming all the way through, and we note it's in ahead of the left. You see this huge spray into the bottom, that massive kick off the top, and Joel floating every millimeter. And the second he touched down, he knew.
Wow.
He knew that was it. Under 21 men's jump champion, and essentially has just sealed the deal in the overall. He's untouchable at this point. There's nobody who can come close to him. And really in the slalom event now, he does have the potential. He has run through 10.75 before to push that overall score even further. And I think if he does that, he might set an overall score that we may never see beat.
Yeah, I mean, we said it. I mean, he is truly an amazing athlete, and where he's at right now at this stage of in his career, whether it's here at the Under-21 World Championships or later on this year at the World Championships, this is a guy that is truly, truly the future of the sport, and we are witnessing things that we just have never seen out here, and it is truly remarkable. Joel Pollan, whether he's on the jump course, the slalom course, the trick course, to watch him go out and put a jump together like that after he tricked over 11,000 points earlier is unbelievable, and we might see him through 10.75 tomorrow. Who knows?
And a jump like that, I would actually be very curious to know with those scores. Now, they weren't all in one round, done in one round, but that's going to be awfully close to the open world overall record. Just an unbelievable skiing. And we're going to go to Jarrett Llewellyn, who's down with Joel as he comes out of the boat. Jarrett, take it away.
65.
When?
7. Right. Good jumping.
Hold on a second. We had some big jumping down here. So, good set.
Yeah.
One jump.
Yeah, that's as good as it could have really gone. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What was the game plan going out? Just
The
feel it
game,
out? Or
well,
just
actually,
like,
I said to Cole before I went out, I was like, if I win on the first jump, what do I do? And he was like, I don't know, do whatever you want. So, I did whatever I want. I threw my helmet. I got excited. It was insane.
and the setup, was that just to go out and feel it out, or would you just start where you left off from the last
I
set?
started exactly where I left the last set. Just made sure I really finished my turn and drove through the ramp. That's everything Matt and Cole have been telling me to do, and just all came together. Perfect jump for me, really.
Congratulations,
Thank
world,
you.
world champion.
Yeah.
And how's that for overall?
I think
you're pretty.
I think I'm a little bit ahead now. I think
Yeah.
I'm safe, so I can have a bit of fun tomorrow in slalom.
Yeah.
Later on the line of touch.
All right, congratulations.
Thank
Good
you very
tournament.
much.
Really good tournament.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, so we're back on live, and great interview with Joel Pollan there, Jarrett Llewellyn down dockside. We're trying to do all the mental math we possibly can. We believe Joel Pollan, because of how he has skied here in the finals, he has the ability and he is on pace to put himself in a position to possibly break the world overall record, and that's set by Adam Sedemeyer.
Yeah, and that's not a tournament record. That's not an under-21 record. That is the best overall performance from a male all time in a single round. So with Joel's jump there of 65.7 meters, 215 feet, that's going to be in round number 2. If we go back to the trick event, that score of 11,030 points was in the finals. That's also counting in the second round. And tomorrow, we have Joel up on the slalom ski, and if he is able to get through 10.75 and get one or two buoys at 10.25, I have a feeling we will be seeing a men's open overall record going down at the Under-21 World Championship. So all the guys watching who are at home training for Malaysia, Adam Settlemeyer, Felipe Miranda, take note, Joel Pollan's coming.
He's coming. It is truly remarkable when you're looking at a guy that is performing at this level, at this stage in the game. There is so much skiing ahead of him in his career and what he's going to be able to do. And you take a look at that world overall. Let's hit on that just a little bit. That world overall record by Settlemeyer took years, if not decades, to break. That was a record for a long period of time. We didn't know if we had a skier that was going to come contest that. Now, a guy like Joel Pollan in the mix, we're looking at maybe a year or two out from when Settlemeyer got that record approved. He has the ability tomorrow to put something together very special.
And what's even more mind-blowing about what Joel's doing right now is if you traditionally look at the peak of a skier, Adam Settlemeyer into his 30s when he broke that record, and usually in the overall race and especially in the jump, we're looking into that as jumpers age into that 30 years of age. That's sort of when they start hitting their stride, sometimes even in the mid-30s. It's one of those things that the experience is usually required to get those scores, and Joel's getting it done already. And if we think his peak is still another 10 years from now, this literally is going to be the next evolution of the sport. This is going to be the guy who the next generation talks about as those, in those same conversations as a Jarrett Llewellyn, as a Freddie Krueger, as one of the greats.
And just to talk about, jumping, I believe easily, this is a guy that we're going to see for years to come that definitely has the potential to go 70-plus meters, right? And the slalom event, obviously, he's already into the 41 off loop or the 10.25. But in the trick event, think about what this guy can do in the trick event. The depth of what he's able to do on a trick ski is unmatched. I mean, he is doing things we've never seen before, so the ceiling is very high on Joel Pollan.
And even with that score of 11:30, one of his toe line tricks was out of time.
Wow.
And he did have that bobble in the middle of his toe run. He thought he had gone fast enough. They retimed it. That's why he got that extra trick in that did push him over that 11,000-point barrier. But even in the run he threw down today, he's got another 480 points in that run. So not even a new run, not even working on new tricks, just a matter of getting that run done a little bit quicker, and we can see him push those scores even farther.
Well, it's been a tremendous day here at Shalom Water Park, and I tell you, Stevie, we are in for a real treat tomorrow, and Sunday's going to wrap everything up. Make sure to head down and join us for prayer on the starting dock. I believe that starts at 8:30 tomorrow morning, so if you're here on site or you're heading out as a fan, come out for that, and we're going to have a lot of slalom. And then obviously the big storyline going in tomorrow is the way that Joel Pollan's been able to ski and potentially is on a pace to maybe break a world overall record depending on how things go tomorrow in slalom. But also you got the likes of Jamie Bull coming up tomorrow as well. So it's action-packed. Hopefully the weather continues to hold back. It was a beautiful day here today, and it was just such a pleasure to be in the booth with you.
Yeah, same as well. Really enjoyed working with you. It was just such an exciting day, and I can't believe it's not over, and I can't believe that some of the most exciting things that we're building up to are still yet to come. So many highlights, so many personal bests, so many world tournament records going down so far today, and now the potential to not see just a world's under-21 tournament record, but the fact that we're talking about an open world record going down, and not any record, the open overall world record. One of the hardest world records, in my opinion, in all of sports. As we talked about, none of those events really correlating into the other, requiring so much training and discipline. And just, I really can't wait for tomorrow, and I know I'm going to be having a hard time sleeping tonight.
Yeah, no, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So make sure to tune in tomorrow on the webcast. We'll be here. Stevie and I are going to be calling the shots, and, there's no better place that I'd rather be than right in this seat tomorrow to watch everything go down.
Absolutely. So stay tuned. Tomorrow, women's slalom final starting at 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. rather.
Canada's national team. This summer, I'll be skiing with the rest of Team Canada at the U21 Worlds in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm super proud to represent Team Canada at Worlds. Come join us in Edmonton, Alberta, July 4 to 7, or online at showandpark.com as we take on the podium at home.
Hey, my name is Neely Ross. I'm a 17-year-old high school student and current member of the Canadian National Waterski team. I'm a two-event competitive water skier, and I'm the current world champion in women's tricks and current junior world champion in slalom and tricks. This summer, I'll be part of a 6-person team competing at the Under-21 World Waterski Championships in Edmonton, Alberta. Come join us in Edmonton, July 4th through 7th, and help Team Canada own the podium right here at home.
My name is Dominique Grandin-Allard. I am a 19 years old college student and a current member of Waterski Canada's national team. This summer, I'll be skiing with the rest of Team Canada at the U21 Worlds in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm super proud to represent Team Canada at Worlds. Come join us in Edmonton, Alberta, July 4 to 7, or online at showandpark.com as we take on the podium at home. My name is Dominique Grandin-Allard. I am a 19 years old college student and a current member of Waterski Canada's national team. This summer, I'll be skiing with the rest of Team Canada at the U21 Worlds in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm super proud to represent Team Canada at Worlds. Come join us in Edmonton, Alberta, July 4 to 7, or online at showandpark.com as we take on the podium at home.
Hey, my name is Neely Ross. I'm a 17-year-old high school student and current member of the Canadian National Waterski team. I'm a two-event competitive water skier, and I'm the current world champion in women's tricks and current junior world champion in slalom and tricks. This summer, I'll be part of a 6-person team competing at the Under-21 World Waterski Championships in Edmonton, Alberta. Come join us in Edmonton, July 4th through 7th, and help Team Canada own the podium right here at home. Hey, my name is Neely Ross. I'm a 17-year-old high school student and current member of the Canadian National Waterski team. I'm a two-event competitive water skier, and I'm the current world champion in women's tricks and current junior world champion in slalom and tricks. This summer, I'll be part of a 6-person team competing at the Under-21 World Waterski Championships in Edmonton, Alberta. Come join us in Edmonton, July 4th through 7th, and help Team Canada own the podium right here at home.
Hey guys, my name is Paige Rainey and I'm 19 years old. This summer, I'll be skiing with the rest of Team Canada at the Under-21 World Championships in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm super proud to represent Canada as we take on the world. Come join us in Edmonton, July 4th through 7, and help Team Canada own the podium right here at home. Hey guys, my name is Paige Rainey and I'm 19 years old. This summer, I'll be skiing with the rest of Team Canada at the Under-21 World Championships in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm super proud to represent Canada as we take on the world. Come join us in Edmonton, July 4th through 7, and help Team Canada own the podium right here at home.
Hi,
my name is Thomas Daigle. I'm 19 years old. This summer, I'll be competing with the rest of Team Canada at the Under-21 World Waterski Championships in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm very proud to represent Canada at Worlds. Come and join us in Edmonton from July 4th and 7th or online at chalonpark.com and help Canada get on the podium right here on home turf. Pour les francophones, rejoignez-nous à Ski Nautique Canada pour nous aider à remporter la médaille d'or.